Alrighty, I think I'm live. Howdy, everybody. How's everybody doing this fine evening? It's a nice Sunday. It's a bit gloomy out where I'm at. It's a bit rain, but for the most part, we're looking at a fine day. Things have been going good. This was originally going to be an open mic, but originally it was going to be an open mic that I did Friday, but I'm still working on a video, where me and my friends do like a EFAP style reaction to the first episode of the Fallout TV show. Uh, but that one needs to be wholly re-edited because not re-edited, but edited in a way that YouTube will actually let me put on the platform. Not because of anything spicy, really. It's actually due to copyright. Like, there's so much music they use in those episodes that, despite how old they are, you can't put up. So, yeah, that's gonna take a while longer. That's gonna be a lot of little itty bitty cuts and stuff I gotta do. So, yeah, it's gonna take a while. That and the other reason that this isn't gonna be an open mic tonight is due to the fact that I just finished DMing D&D with my friends. Party of 7 people, 8 including me, the DM. It's a lot of management. There was a lot of talking. We also had a big discussion after the session about something we need to do. So, point is, I'm talked out. I'm almost talked out. I'm almost at my limit. But that being said, I'm gonna do this stream because I really want to talk about this. And I still am gonna do open mic, sort of. I'm gonna take 3 to 4 calls, depending on how long they are, at the end of today's episode. So if you want to participate in that, like always in an open mic, in the description is a link to the call line Discord. I will hop in that after I'm done covering like all the topical stuff today. We'll get through that, and then we'll end off after those calls. So anyway, are you on the list like the Archcast? Also, first of all, welcome Katie Brooks, welcome Sil, welcome Zerat, and Noah R was here earlier. Welcome to you all. Am I on the list like the Archcast? Well, we'll go through that. We'll go through that. We're also going to be looking at the updated list because apparently there was a list before the one we're going to look at today, but it's been updated. So we're going to look at the most up to date list. So yeah, we'll get into that. But first things first, welcoming everybody here. Hi, hey Nostalgia Vivek, how you doing, my man? Welcome. By the way, make sure to leave a like on the stream. It helps it in the algorithm, all that fun stuff. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Sorry, I had to get the little YouTuber things out of the way. Better to get them out now than, repeatedly go again and again throughout the stream, like, hey guys, make sure to do this and this. Nah. Get it out of the way, and we'll move on from there. So, yeah, today we're going to go over a couple things. The main thing, and we're going to get it out of the way first, is we're going to go over the list, because there's been a list of content creators and who to follow and who not to follow based on their reaction to the Femstody situation. So there's the anti-woke, the woke, and the fence sitters. That's generally what the list was beat down into. We're going to go through each of those. I think it's pretty funny, some of the descriptors. We're going to go through those. I also have a clip from a stream that just finished up from Valric, where he shouted out, shout out might be generous. He mentioned a buddy of mine, a nice, cool old buddy of mine, by the name of Wheezy Pillar, and he took umbrage with the fact that Wheezy pointed out a blatant truth. And yeah, might be starting some shit with Valric today, but oh well. I am going to call it how I see it. And I think we're also going to, it depends on how much time both those take, but we're also probably going to hit up on a channel called Sword and Steel. Also responded to the female custodian situation. I saw their initial video coverage, and we're not going to react to their whole video, because I want people to go to Sword and Steel and see their video for themselves. I'm just going to play a small segment from it. We'll do that, but we'll see. But I think I've done my initial onboarding. Let's see. Let me welcome a few more people. Jump into the chat. Daedric, welcome. I'm actually getting ready to go to a 9th edition event with a bunch of friends because 10th edition is dead to us all. Fair enough. I can respect it. I wouldn't choose 9th edition, but I'm biased towards 7th edition. If you find any events of 7th edition in your area, I highly recommend them. That's probably my favorite edition. I seem to be in the minority on that. Barzarel? Apologies if I said your name incorrectly. Yeah, I think it's Archcast, Gamza, Asmogan, and Sword and Steel or something. Yeah, don't worry. We'll get to it, yeah. Such Vec could be better. Think I'm coming down with something, and I've got work. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I hope you feel better. Sorry to hear you're not feeling too well. Make sure to drink plenty of water and go easy on any it depends on what you're sick with. I'm not going to ask for the nitty gritty, but if it's stomach ache stuff, go on lighter foods, Tums if you got them. And if it's something to do with like pains and aches, acetaminophen is always a good recommendation or equivalent. I constantly pop those whenever I have muscle problems. But again, not going to ask for the nitty gritty, but I hope you feel better. Kitty Brooks, well, it is a shame because I like the lore for 40k and I fear what it might is turning into. I definitely fear what it's turning into, but it's less that I fear what it is turning into and fear what it has already become. Nico, welcome to stream, my man. How you doing? Yeah, this is still going on. Yep, and it's probably going to keep going on. It's going to keep going on until they either reverse it. Well, actually, that's the only way I see it dying down. Even then, on one side, that's not going to end. But short of them reversing this, it's going to go on for a long time. Perkysaurus, welcome to stream. Some people are always will always shill to protect their access. Yes, and I will say this for Valric. It's the closest thing I have for a defense for the guy. He's not a shill in that regard. I genuinely don't think he's getting any, back pay or any kind of back support from GW. I don't think he's getting anything like that, and I think GW even straight up blacklisted him. So, yeah, this is the doorbell. Someone else will get it. Gotta love the dog. Good God. Sorry about that. I have some family visiting upstairs. Good Lord. Anyway. I'm in my hobby area. They can leave me alone. Anyway. Good God. Alright, Mr. Bones, Uncle Clumsy, Nostalgia Vivek, Gorgelin, welcome. What list is this? Alright. I guess with that, we'll jump right into it. Apologies if you can hear my dog. She's a nut job. So, let's jump right into it. I'm going to pull it up right now. Boom. Alright, so the list is broken up into different categories. I guess, actually, we'll end off on the brown, because it's kind of funny. So, the list is broken up into yellow, red, and green. And what it is this has been put together by Chainsword 40k over on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. And it is effectively a naughty list and a nice list of 40k content creators. And it does break them down into these different categories. So yellow is the fence sitters. Not openly woke or anti-woke. Need more scrutiny. Most painting channels fall into this category even though they are not listed here. So the first one is a very popular channel, which I have also very openly had my issues with, and I still do. But before I even read this person's description of him, I will give Luton this. He recently put up a Custodes lore video, and to give him credit, Luton in it reiterated the old lore. He didn't iterate the new shit. In it at 1446 or 1426, something like that as a timestamp, he reiterates that they are the sons of Terran nobles. He reiterates that, and he doesn't contradict it as far as I recall throughout the video. So credit to Luton. That's the closest I think we're getting to him taking a stand on the subject. Again, it's Der Ubermans. Ricky's response to the film is needless to say frustrating. Yes, it is. Shadowhawk, welcome to stream. What I missed? Nothing much. We're just about to get into the naughty and nice list. Rolling rates. Welcome to stream. Getting blacklisted by GWs these days is like a badge of honor. It certainly is for me. It certainly is for me. That's what it is for me. Absolutely. Actually, the weird thing is on Twitter. We can probably check it live right now. But on Twitter, if we go to GW, I still don't think they've got me blocked. Weirdly enough. Hold on. I added them a little while back. Actually, let me just cheat and go to Warhammer. Did they block me? No, they still don't have me blocked. That's the thing. I was in the trenches when they initially posted trenches of Twitter when they initially posted that crap about oh, it's always been this way, didn't you know? Go fuck yourself. But when they initially were posting that, I was in the trenches here's the direct quote from your codex saying you're lying. I was right fucking there. And I also pointed to people, hey, look for the hidden comments, look for this, look for this. I was doing that shit, and they didn't block me. All of my friends, like all of my fellow, call out people were getting blocked left and right. I saw a bunch of people, like Corndog, for example, if you know him on Twitter, he got blocked like that. Meanwhile, I'm over here, like, all the bullets are dodging me, like, the fuck? Hello? When am I getting blocked? I'm still pissed they didn't. Like, they didn't block me. That's a true shame. But, yeah, somehow your boy dodged any kind of backlash from GW, despite the fact that I was quite affluent with calling them out. I was directly adding them. I was replying to all of their shit. Somehow dodged the bullet. Yeah, I was Neo with that shit. Unintentionally, too. I was more like, I was like, come on, hit me. Come on, you can do it. Hit me. And then, like, a bullet goes right, like, grazes, like, right past my face. I'm like, come on. And they get right up close in, like, point-blank range, fire, and somehow it goes over my head and behind me. I'm like, the fuck? It was hilarious. But, yeah, they never blocked me. It was weird. It was really weird. But anyway, on to the list. On to the listiers. Also, welcome, Lady Runesong. How you doing, you wonderful human being? So, yeah, yellow describes fence-sitters, not openly woke or anti-woke, need more scrutiny, mostly painting channels. First one was Luton09. Again, to give him credit, he reiterated the old lore and the original lore, the correct lore, in his latest lore video. Much respect for him for doing that. That being said, I still don't respect his initial response to the situation, and it very much solidly landed him in the yellow. He is a fence sitter, 100%. What this person put for them, though, is great lore videos, not woke, but not taking sides. I would agree with that descriptor, at least publicly. He doesn't want to piss off the cancel crowd. Some leftists hate him, expressed anti-SJW opinions in the past, deep past, and probably should move him to green. I personally think he belongs in yellow. I don't think he belongs in green. Because my impression from his... Hey, Lord Metalman, Nathan X2000, welcome, you amazing human beings. Welcome, welcome. But in his initial... hashtag female custodians do not exist. Exactly, Arkham Inmate. You are correct. They do not. But in his initial response to the situation, he absolutely, charitably, I think you could describe him as riding the fence. Certain comments make me think he was leaning towards the other side. Because I think, to be honest, I think it was because he was more afraid of their backlash than he was from the true 40k community. I feel like he was confident in his own, love level from the community, that even if he took the other side, people wouldn't be too harsh on him. And to be honest, he's not wrong for that take. A lot of people are, die-hard Luton fans, because so many people got into the lore because of him. Like, he was such a huge source of lore for so many people, that he could blatantly say, yeah, female custodians is totally a good idea. He could say that, and I do honestly think he would survive that backlash. Would he get some? Absolutely. But, regardless... Mike Hawk, welcome to stream. Gorgelin, Josh, welcome to stream. Welcome to all of you. Barak is a real bro. He's just married to that YouTube money. Can't speak his mind. We'll get into that. Like I said, there's a little bit of a clip from his latest stream that I'm going to pull up. So, Chapter Master Valric, not woke, but ignorant to the woke problem. I disagree with that comment. I do not believe whatsoever Valric is ignorant to the woke problem. I think he's fully aware. He might have denied it somewhere, but I haven't seen it. But I think he's fully aware of the woke problem. I just don't think he gives a damn. And not in the sense that, I respect that. I respect that more than siding with the wokes. It's sad that we're at that stage, but it's better to not take a side, really. I do think you can not take a side in the situation. And I do think he genuinely doesn't care about the controversy. But I say that as a negative, because to me that shows that he doesn't care about the lore as much as he likes to say he does. I definitely think he cares about the hobby, and I think he cares about the community extensively. But whenever he says he cares about the lore, I think this stuff is proof that he doesn't. In fact, while we have him there, let me pull this up real quick. So this is the clip I wanted to focus on a little bit. Yeah, let's play this.
If you know my channel... I do videos covering the lore. This is new lore. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it, right? I didn't do it for the drama farmer llama, right? Like all these other channels are doing right now about female custodians. I could do that. I could make videos about female custodians and get the drama farmer llama likes, right? I don't want to. Do you know why? I don't care. I simply don't care enough for it, right?
Keep in mind, I'm quoting him here. I'm not paraphrasing. I'm letting him say it himself. He doesn't care. He said it himself. He does not care. Again, does not care. I take that to mean he doesn't care about the lore. Because if you care about the lore, you would have a problem with this.
I just want to roll dice, play with my little fucking models that I've collected and painted, or Lambo has, or Krug has, and have a laugh with my mates. That is it.
Which is fine. I respect that.
That is absolutely it. If it means more to some people to get this mad, then that's on you. That's not on me, right?
True.
That is definitely on you. I'm here to get away from fucking...
But that's because they care more than you do. By your own words. Again, I'm not... he said it himself. I don't care.
Life issues, and just spend time with my mates and have a laugh. That is it. Start and end.
Don't play dumb, just own it. But
yeah, in his own words. And again, by the way, this is Wheezy Pillar. Awesome guy. If you're looking for a more of a relaxed take than mine, Wheezy's probably the one to go to. He's way more chill than I am about it. I'm way more hostile, if you couldn't tell. I'm way more hostile about all this. But Wheezy's a lot more calm and collected. So, if you're looking for a calmer perspective, Wheezy's the one to go to. But for me, I'm someone you want to go to if you want blunt and aggression. Not like threats or anything, not that kind of aggression, but like I'm firm, I'm to the point, and I call bullshit when I see it. I don't sugarcoat. That's who I am. And again, I'm not misquoting him. He says himself, Chapter Valeric, I do not care. His words, not mine. I will take him at his word. He doesn't care about the lore enough to have a passionate perspective on this. That's fine. So, Chapter Valeric, not woke, but ignorant to the woke problem, or at least posed as such. Implies that people who believe Warhammer has gone woke are conspiracy theorists. I haven't seen him say that, but if he did, it wouldn't surprise me. Blacklisted by GW. And that's from what I've heard. I don't know to what extent that's true. You just started up his stream again? Okay, cool. Let's see if he responds to this. Eons of Battle. Fence sitter. Openly... Wait, hold on. What? Fence sitter openly gay? What does that have to do with anything? Okay. The fence sitter part, I can agree with. I do know Eons of Battle. Some of his videos have been good. Some I don't like. More of a lefty friendly than a full-blown woke. Yeah, I'd agree with that. That openly gay part, not necessary, and I don't know what that has to do with anything. That's just me, though. Like, that. Other than that, I can agree with the rest of it. Weird comment to put in. Major Kill, not woke. I don't know what AFAC means. I'm not that much of a zoomer. AFAC? Is that supposed to be an actual word, or is that an abbreviation? This is literally our own version of the Horus Heresy. I mean, it's fair to put it that way. It's that level of a civil war. Abbreviation. Okay. What does it mean? As far as I know. Ah, okay. Thank you, Nathan, for curing my boomerism. As far as I know. Okay. So, not woke as far as I know, but first one to offer female custody smut. Yeah, I heard about that. That was funny. I mean, it is funny, to be fair. I haven't seen exactly how he did it, but I haven't seen Major Kill's actual coverage itself, but the idea of, like, comedic... He might have meant it seriously if he did. Okay. But it's funny in concept. One time he bashed leftists, other times apologizes to them. That's true. Generally speaking, Major Kill, I think anyway, tends to side with whatever side he expects the least backlash from, generally. Fence riding is his default. He'll only ever take a firm side when he's confident the backlash will not outweigh the attempt. That's generally my take on Major Kill. I'm not a fan of him. I don't hate him. I think Major Kill is a great example of someone who is business-minded. Right? Like, he's a YouTuber, he's a brand. Valoric's very similar, very brand focused. That's why they won't openly shit talk or outright call out crap without a lot of caveats, without a lot of qualifiers. They won't call stuff out because they're afraid of the backlash. Now, again, I don't think that's necessarily because GW themselves are paying them out the pocket or doing anything like that. I don't think they're getting any, clapback. I think they've attached themselves to the brand, so if they see it as if the brand goes down, then the support and everything that they have will also go with it. It's entirely separated from GW while also at the same time interlocking themselves with it. They rely on 40K to be successful for them to be successful. So that's why they'll never shit talk it without caveats, without qualifiers. There will always be a if and or but in regards to anything they do call out. That's how they work. And that's what really defines them as perfectly for this fence sitters. They got to protect that brand. They got to protect that dough. Auspex Tactics cares only about meta. True. I don't. Here's the thing. I have nothing negative to say about Auspex. Majorly, anyway. He's kind of straightforward, sticks to what he does, and that's it. He plays the numbers game. Respect that. That's fine. And if he doesn't call stuff, I've also never gotten the hint that he really virtue signals or plates to people about lore. As far as I've seen, anyway, he just doesn't really talk about lore at all. I might have missed that era or chunk of content on his channel, but I've only ever seen him talk about the meta, talk about the codex rules, talk about the tabletop. That's what he cares about. And this whole controversy is about the lore. So if you're someone like him or Valric, who said it himself, he does not care about the lore. He does not care. That's fine. I can respect that. But at the very least, do what they're doing and stay out of the conversation. You don't care by your own stretch, so don't talk about it. Stay out of it. Better to do that than try and weigh in and cause problems where there's already plenty. So, yeah, nothing negative to say about Auspex. Miniac, great miniature painter, very talented. I haven't even seen anything in regards to his takes on this, so I can't comment. But he allegedly in the same circles as Goobertown Hobbies. Goobertown, on the other hand, I got plenty negative to say about that motherfucker. Miniac and Ninyan complained about the prevalence of generic white dudes in mini sculpts. They're racists. What can you say? He also did consulting about pinup models and some of the common issues with them in one of his videos, which is kind of like, I don't want to offend anyone. Although apparently for the leftists, he does bare minimum. For the most part, that's fair. The part that, obviously I'll call anyone out for if they say, and I don't know for a fact Miniac or Ninyan complained about the prevalence of generic white dudes in minisculpts. But if anyone complains about the quote-unquote prevalence of white dudes or this dudes or insert immutable characteristic here, they're racist, sexist, homophobe, transphobe, etc. Like, if you even care enough about it to comment on it, especially with miniatures where you paint them. Oh, there's too many generic white guy sculpts. You're the one painting them white. Why are you painting them white if you got a problem with white people? That's on you, motherfucker. Nothing to do with anybody else. So, yeah, yeah, so if that's true, I have not heard for myself that Miniac and Ninyan complained about the prevalence of generic white. It's not beyond my purview to see that and them complaining about it. But if they did complain about the prevalence of generic white dudes in minisculpts, racist. Plain and simple. It'd be just, I'd say it's the same problem if someone complained about the prevalence of Indian figures in this particular thing, or this, that, or the other. The fact that you're relying on the sculpt to give you, features that you align with black people and you don't think you can paint them that color if you want them that color, again, that's on you. That's you noticing race where it isn't, really. You want more black models, get out the brown paint. You want more tan or Latino, get out, a lighter skin tone and mix it slightly with the brown colors. It's how you paint them. It's how you paint them. The fuck you talking about? Ninyan, allegedly in the same circles as Goobertown Hobbies, Miniac and Ninyan complained about the prints. Same comments. Again, I think for the videos I've seen, they are great miniature painters, really talented. They have beautiful work that they've always done. And I don't know the truth about them complaining about the prevalence of generic white models, if true, racist. If not, rescind the comment. But generally speaking, what I've seen of them, they tend to stick to their aisles. You know, they tend to stick to, hey, I'm a miniature painter. Here's miniature painting tips. That's all. You know, they don't need to talk about everything else. All right, green. So this is the list I'm on. These are the Chads. These are the based kings of the 40K community. So green, either openly anti-woke on social media, videos, or YouTubers that generally don't care about the woke ideology. I mean, I don't care about them as far as, you know, I don't think about them on a daily basis. I do care as far as when they start easing their way into the shit I care about, which is a lot of things. So it's infuriatingly annoying. Shadowjack says, as different skin tones, where the fuck is your helmet, son? Thank you. That's the color I care about, the color of your helmet. Do you think we will win? Yes, but it also depends on how you define the victory. Do you define the victory as, you know, will the hobby reverse back and stop having woke elements? If we don't get a straight up apology and retraction within the next month or so, probably not. But if you define victory as the hobby kind of bounces back, the community formulates itself around prior additions to anything new that they produce, and the community survives there, and GW, should it go under, the community will keep it going in the ways that matter most as a community. We'll keep playing 8th edition, we'll keep playing 9th edition. For those who, for some reason, like 10th edition, we'll keep playing 10th edition, but you don't have to engage with anything new. You don't have to buy any GW products. Everything you could want for Warhammer, you can get elsewhere. You want the rules sets? They're all on the internet somewhere as free to PDFs, especially the older editions, which are superior to anything new that GW are coming out with. Want the old lore? Same deal. Secondhand bookstores. There's also the PDFs. Almost all the audiobooks are owned by somebody out there. Lots of choices without involving GW in a single cent. And if GW goes under, that does not mean 40K is screwed. Because we as a community, we own the codexes. We own the lore books. We own everything we need to keep 40K going. It's not like a video game where we rely on the developer or the IP holder to provide servers. All you need is a tabletop and anything to do with the rulebooks. If you want to play tabletop, want to play miniatures, plenty of proxies out there if you don't straight up 3D print or get recasts. There are endless ways to completely cut GW out of the equation without the hobby being at all sacrificed in doing so. There you go. Hold on, I just saw Lord Metal at me real quick. There he is. Asmogan, looked at Warhammer faction focus video on YouTube likes us dislike ratio lately. I haven't. Well, we can pull that up and check it out. Richard McGowan, good quote here. We are 40K, not GW, not leftists. Thank you, and you are correct. The hobbyists define this hobby. The thing that will make you lose is when you start believing that anyone else does. We pay the light bill at GW, and when we stop, they stop. So, on the green list, we have Arch / the Archcast, first one to speak out about woke hammers, blacklisted by GW. Both true? Yeah, absolutely. Gamza, openly anti-woke. Based Gamza. Guy's a king. I think he also did a video covering this. I left a comment on it. Yeah, Gamza's awesome. Love him to death. If you haven't seen his video, if you don't know the Buttermilk Bob meme, you're missing out. Guy's awesome. Guy's also been championing 3D printing for a lot longer than this situation. He's been doing it for years. Guy's got his own awesome 3D prints. He's got a Patreon full of them. They're fantastic. So if you're looking for some, you're looking for that glue shit, check out Gamza. He's got a lot of cool stuff. A lot of great proxies. A lot of great STLs. Sword and Steel expressed disdain for female custodians and changes the lore. Again, we'll talk about them a little bit today. But yeah, Sword and Steel, very happy to see them cover it. Then me. Hey, I made the list. Actually, I was surprised that I did. Like when I got added this list, I didn't think I'd be on it because I'm a tiny channel, you know. I got 7 point something K now, which is awesome, by the way. Thank you to all you fantastic Chads out there and based individuals who've been subscribing lately. Much appreciated. Love the support. You guys are kings and queens. Fantastic. Thank you. But that being said, I've been a tiny channel for a long time. You know, I don't mind that, by the way. I just like hobbying and making videos and fun stuff. That's what I do. Bubador, nice hat. Thank you. I love 40K, and that's why I've always made the channel. I've made video after video after video, not expecting huge views or anything, and I have fun with it. That's why I do. But I call out bullshit when I see it, and that's how this situation got me so wrapped up into it. But again, that being said, I was surprised at my size I would get mentioned. Like, I figured I'd be under a lot of people's radar in that regard, but it was cool. It was cool. Karn says, "Don't worry, Asmo, we will be embiggen you." Well, thank you. Thank you. I love that I'm being increased in size. It's amazing. I gotta eat more Twinkies. Really double up that chunk, you know? Alright. So, keep in mind, this is also the expanded list. There was a list before this, and if I recall correctly, the only ones listed at that point were me, Arch, Gamza, and Sword and Steel. Now it's been enhanced. Morty and Glory. Guys of Chad. Love him. Great content. Does not care. Called out Midwinter on his BS with bolt action. He did. Again, this guy is a hobbyist. You want a great, awesome hobbyist who doesn't lay on the drama so much. And I'd like to think I'm that, but lately I'm certainly harping on the drama, but that's because it's important to me to call this crap out. The list got you my sub. Well, Pete, I appreciate it killing I almost said unsoftly. You softly. Killing you softly. Appreciate it. And if you kill me soft, like, at least involve some roses and some nice incense, you know. I want my final moments to be charming. But thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it, man. Outer Circle expressed anti-SJW opinions in the past. True. I heard word to mouth that he said something like mocking in regards to Arch or something in regards to... I haven't checked on Outer Circle in years, so I don't know how true that is. If that's true, he doesn't belong on the green list. But again, I haven't seen his stuff, and that's entirely word to mouth, so don't take that as any level of gospel. And true, in the past, he's definitely called this crap out, so hopefully he's still doing so. Hopefully he hasn't fallen to darkness. But it could happen. It could certainly happen. Voldemort's Guide to Warhammer. I think that's a good pick for green. No politics, only lore. That's true. Also, if you want, like, in my opinion, a superior source of lore than Luton, go to Voldemort. I stand by that. I don't think Luton is as good as Voldemort, and the fact that Voldemort has less subs is a crime. Voldemort, superior narration, far more entertaining, and again, he stays out of this stuff entirely. As far as I've seen, Voldemort's not said a damn thing about this. Which, it would be nice if he came out on the side of the hobbyists, but I'm totally fine with him being just, no, I'm just going to keep making my videos and let them lay where they are. And I think he's already made a Custodes video anyway, so as long as he doesn't put like an addendum on it, like a dumb addendum saying, oh, by the way, there's women now, I think it's fine to just let him stick to his current. Voldemort's amazing. He is. Voldemort is the pinnacle of like the actual narration and like actually like storytelling of the lore. Like you want the essence of the lore translated to you directly to your heart and your brain, in luscious amazingness in your ears. Listen to him with headphones and fall asleep to that shit. it's Voldemort's amazing. So high tier lore channel. Intellectually, I am the 1% that wears Luton 09. He is on the yellow list, Fence Rider. And I do think he belongs there, personally. That's me. I think his... again, respect to him for the lore video he just put up where he reiterated the old lore, reaffirming it for himself and his community. Respect it. But his initial video on it was at most charitable fence riding. Like, he fence riding to straight up, like, implying that anybody who had a problem with it in the moment was being over the top or being unreasonable. Not really. I don't respect that. And also, like, the diminishing I didn't respect at all. Plus, I didn't like Luton a lot before that, to be fair. Citing my biases. Luton, for me, lost a lot of respect the day, years and years ago, he said that the lore had no canon. Like, he said that years ago. So, that's me. I don't... After that, I had no respect. Laser Pill. Oh, thank you, man, for the super chat. That was super generous of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, buddy. Love you, too. And congratulations on the shout-out from E-Old Valric. Shout-out, we'll call it that. Yeah. Yeah. That was BS, by the way. Like, he got all, like... I can't believe he made me out this way. It's like, no, it's what you said, and it's the truth of the situation. But anyway, but yeah. Janovich. Some leftists call him fascist, which means he's probably all right because they call names everyone who disagrees with them, or maybe they just hate him just because he is a Deathcore of Krieg fan, or DKOK. Janovich is awesome, and anyone who calls him fascist is a retard. It's point blank. If you think Janovich is a fascist because he likes DKOK, first off, you don't know what DKOK are at that point. You're somebody who judges everything based on the cover, which means you're probably a tourist in this hobby space and don't know a damn thing about what you're talking about. And also, you have not paid whatsoever any level of substantive attention to Janovich. Point blank. So you're a retard. Go fuck yourself. Gamza, he's in the chat. How you doing, man? Welcome. Bigoted, reported. Yes, report me. Bring on the war. Good to see you, brother. Wolf Lord Rowe, no known political opinions online. I'm not a huge fan of Wolf Lord Rowe, personally. I don't dislike him. Let me make that clear. I don't think either direction of Wolf Lord Rowe. I've seen some of his lore videos. They're entertaining. Some of them not so much. Ambivalent is how I will put my opinion of Wolf Lord Rowe. But no known political opinions online. That's a thumbs up from me, if true. I don't know him too well, but from what I've seen, aye. Respect. A Border Prince and I both had shout-out videos on Arches years ago, so I'd be surprised if he wasn't in green, like if I missed something entirely. But A Border Prince, as far as I've ever seen, has always been hobby-focused. Generally speaking, sticks to the lore. I don't think I've ever seen him give a political opinion, like, about anything. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe, he did say something in the past in a live stream I missed or something, but as far as I know, the guy should only ever be in the green list here. Like, he's straight lore, straight fun, great narration. Outside of his collab with Arch, I can't see what any of them would have to latch onto there. And so I'm literally shaking right now and use the cry face because I'm surrounded by bigots. Yes, you are. How's it feel? How's it feel, Gamza, to be the white blonde chick in that old meme, with a white blonde girl sitting there on the white couch, surrounded by the gentleman of much melanin. How's it feel? You're surrounded. Great. Lord Mel, A Border Prince is all right. He's a lore fan more than any in the yellow. That's true. And I respect A Border Prince. I've only ever seen him just stick close to the lore. He's a true hobbyist. I'd be surprised if I missed something in regards to A Border Prince where he did something, annoying. Much melanin, you motherfucker. You're welcome. I found a new way to put it. The 40k Empress show. I don't know the 40k Empress. I'm going to make that point blank. I haven't looked her up even after I saw this, so not much to comment. The person here says openly anti-woke. That's a huge bonus from me. If true, I'll check her out sometime, and I'll make more of a determination there, but mad respect if true. Added as per request of channel creator. Oh, she asked to be put on it, too. Okay. Based. Zinsamila Bud, who made this list. Right now we're going over the green, but quite a few people made the list. If you want to see me cover the yellow, we've just finished the yellow. We're going through the green. Thank you, Edward Bailey, for the £5. Thank you. Ant 40k Theories mates with Norn Queen Alexis surprised he's on the green list. Love your stuff, Asmogan. Hopefully the game you're making plans out. Thank you so much, man, and I hope so too. Working hard on it and hope to have more of it soon. Certainly going to make announcements as soon as I have really substantive stuff. The lore is the biggest thing the lore is nailed out, like, overall. But, like, getting, like, novels and comics done, I want to do that. Obviously, the game is also, like, the biggest focus, but that's going to take a while longer. Jared Kirkland, thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. $4.99, much appreciated. Outer Circle is definitely green. Always has been critical of GW's anti-consumer practices. Also has done live streams with Arch in the past. True. Again, I only heard word to mouth that he made a comment in regards to the female custodian situation. In regards to Arch, I don't know if it's true. I'd have to actually check it. I haven't checked his channel in a long time, so I don't know. But I tend to not believe it because, again, from my familiarity with the Outer Circle, the guy's always called out BS and woke BS whenever it's been brought up. So I would highly doubt it. I would highly doubt it if that ended up being the case. And then 40k theories at the bottom. No known political opinions online. 40k theories. I don't know. I remember. Oh, thank you, Lord Metal Man, for the super chat. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Check the faction focus ratio. Fine. I'll do it. Let's do it like this. Hold on. Warhammer 40k. I love how like the first like 6 things are not from Games Workshop. First 6 things. Change that. First like 20. There it is.
Bodyguard.
There we go. By the way, it's such a crime that like they got such an amazing voice actor to do this shitty trailer. Oh damn. So this is the ratio currently present. Thank you, RedCarp98 for the $5. Thank you. Super generous of you. Much appreciated. Man, and here I wanted to be a Black Library author and feed the starving Xenos fans. Oh, you should have become an author before all this nightmare. I'm like, for those who don't know, tabletop wise, my biggest faction is definitely the Orcs. That's me. I have if you guys can't tell behind me, I have my Stompa there. Not my whole Orc army is not there. It won't fit there. And I also have another bookshelf over there where it also won't fit. I'm out of room for my Orcs. And I suppose that's a good thing, given everything. But, yeah, I'm a big, like, my tabletop army of choice for years has been Orcs. Lore-wise, my favorite faction is the Black Templars. But that's, like, the mix-up. I love my Orcs, love them tabletop, love painting them. Favorite faction, by far. But Black Templars definitely won my heart in the lore years and years ago. Like, I'll never forget the first time I saw that John Blanche art of the Black Templars. That was amazing. Orky salute. Orky salute. Whoa! Sims for the £5. Thank you for the generous donation. Thank you. Do you think it's worth complaining to GW customer service about the Gate Crushers page in this month's White Dwarf? Yes. Any form of pressure you can put on GW, obviously, without going like nutso. Like if you're gonna start sending death threats, get the fuck out. You're not helping anything. But if you want to voice your concerns, send them letters. Directly contact their email support. Do whatever you can to make clear your disdain, while not giving them a dime. Now, if you just want to not give them a dime, that works perfectly fine. At the end of the day, the thing that's going to speak the loudest is your pocketbook. Are you giving them money? Then they will keep making changes without fear. You don't give them money, they'll think twice. Plain and simple. Asmogan's Black Templar tendencies also feed into his Orc tendencies. Daka and Death are plenty. That's true. You understand. But yeah, it looks like the ratio is 2.8k likes to 8.5k. Now keep in mind, the add-on thing I have is lowballs it. And usually lowballs it by quite a bit. So that could be all the way up to half as true as the actual dislikes. Now, is that the case? I doubt it. It's probably closer to the ballpark, so I'm going to say it's probably closer to like 10k dislikes or so to 2.8k likes. That speaks volumes, by the way. Like, if you ever want a good aggregate of what the community is thinking about something, you don't go to Twitter, you don't go to Facebook. Both have very biased ends of the focus. Sometimes the best place to go is right to GW themselves to see how people are feeling. And this video serves as a pretty good spotlight of true, because here's the thing, true fans have been and are subscribed to like the Warhammer channel and are paying attention to the latest news and stuff, right? So they're going to see these uploads and they're going to be instantly on that shit. So this is a pretty good aggregate to show you how the community's feeling. Very, very few of the community are in support of the bullshit that's happening. Now, I also want to point out, though, to be entirely fair, to GW themselves, in this faction focus, they don't mention female custodies at all. And they also left the comment section open. What little credit I can give them, I will give them there. At least they did that much. So, yeah, sometimes it's twice as much. I know. Like, it could be up to double what is actually shown on the return to duty. Because this is basically an educated guess based on algorithmic trends and based on some of the actual social blade stuff that is tracked and trackable. But the exact number is this thing that the return to YouTube dislike can't exactly get, but they can ballpark it. So, but it can be as off as double, but it tends to lowball. It never overballs it. So keep in mind, it's more than 8.5K. 8.5K at minimum is the dislikes right now. So anyway, we finished with the green part of the list. We finished with the greens. Let's hit the reds. Let's hit the red. Who's got the red letter? Yeah. So, openly woke either on social media or in their videos. So let's go down the list. First one listed, Goobertown Hobbies. Goobertown Hobbies is that creepy uncle nobody ever wants to get near. He may not have done anything provable yet, but you get the vibe at any moment he will. Like, that's generally my vibe with Goobertown as a personality. Where can I find this? It's right over on Twitter. This list. It's right over on Twitter. Look for @Chainsaw40K. He's the one who made the list, and right now we're looking over the revised list, but there was the original list. But yeah, Goobertown Hobbies. The guy's creepy. Now, obviously, that's a subjective point of view of watching some of his videos and his content and stuff. The guy's eerily, like, calm. Like, you ever like deal with somebody and like you look in their eyes and you're like, there ain't no soul behind those eyes. There's no life there. There's just an empty husk. Every time he talks and every time he just stares at the camera, that's all I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, I get, you know how girls constantly talk about the ick? I usually don't get what that means, but when I can think of an example of getting the ick for me, it's with Goobertown. The guy's creepy. And the one solid thing I could definitely say, outside of like subjective opinions of his personality and his behavior, outside of that I can certainly tag him for not liking, for those who remember it, way back when, it's actually a couple of years old now, geez, but way back when, there was an NDA whistleblower for 40K who revealed that GW was spreading around NDAs, basically going above and beyond just simply not saying stuff, like restricting people to like what they could say down to like a minute degree. Can't say anything negative, can't talk or paint anything to do with other hobbies. It was a bunch of stuff in the NDA that was super restrictive and crazy. And they were putting that out for content creators, and there was a whistleblower, an employee of GW, who was spreading around, hey, your favorite content creators, they can't say anything negative, like even remotely, about GW products due to this NDA, or they'll lose access. Or, in the case of signing the NDA, may be held legally to task for breaching it. So it was stupid as all shit what was leaked. And Goobertown Hobbies got in direct contact with the whistleblower and was talking to him. Then, for some reason, Goobertown contacted Norn Queen Alexis about it. Now, to be fair to Goobertown, he didn't do anything bad as far as like exposing the NDA. He was just contacting and speaking to him. For what end? I don't know. He might have been planning on just simply reporting on it. He might have just been interested in the details and didn't have any intention content-wise with it. But regardless, he was in direct contact with the NDA whistleblower. He then, via contact with Norn Queen Alexis, tried to hook up with her, not in a dating format. Like, we saw very cherry-picked messages from her. But he was in contact with her and tried to hook up between the two of them. I don't know to what end. Best guess is he was hoping she would cover it. Because at the time, I think she had a bigger following than he did. I could be wrong about that. But he was trying to hook them up. And Norn Queen Alexis was creeped out by Goobertown and didn't like him. Can't blame her. And leaked the DMs, cherry-picked them, to be fair, and made him look extra creepy than he already was. I still think he kind of was, despite the full context stuff. But that being said, they were cherry-picked. And also, she doxed the whistleblower. And when I say doxed, I mean showed his name, showed everything, and then on Twitter added the Warhammer account. She went so far, now to be fair, this is more of a shit on her than it is Goobertown. But, because again, the worst he did was he told the wrong person the details. And I don't know why he trusted her. It seemed like she didn't like him. Like, maybe that was part of the cherry pickedness, that maybe she was given some kind of, would you say he's a goober? Yes, I would, Kyle White. Welcome to the stream, by the way. So yeah, that situation went down. She doxed the NDA whistleblower, and everything went to shit. And I don't think I've heard from her since. To be fair, I think she ran from the internet and never came back. So that was an interesting situation. But regardless, that situation taught me that Goobertown is a terrible judge of character. Again, he's not to blame for the doxing. Like, that was not on him. That's what she did. But he was a terrible judge of character. Bored with Gaming, thank you so much for the £5. Thank you so much, man. Games Workshop diversity mandate. Exclusionary inclusion. We're changing the lore to get new fans. If you don't like it, you're not welcome. True. Exclusionary inclusion. That's actually a great way to put it. I'm going to use that. Thank you. And also thank you for the super chat. Very generous of you. But yeah, generally speaking, Goobertown Hobbies is, from my subjective point of view, I think he's creepy. And from a objective point of view, he's a terrible judge of character and definitely sides with the woke every chance he gets. The guy is hardcore woke. If you've ever followed his Twitter account, which I've never followed it, but people have linked me to a bunch of his horrible tweets. The guy backed up Radhom. He backed up the big one. He keeps backing up Cerberus XT, who's a fake fan as they get. For those who've seen it, Cerberus XT is the account that has openly said that they wished Warhammer focused more on lovey-dovey relationships rather than war, because it gets so boring and tiring. Said by a supposed fan of 40k, by the way. A game that's had the tagline for years, in the grimdark future there is only war. Or in the grimdarkness of the far future, there is only war. It's been the tagline for years. And a supposed fan was like, I wish they just focused on the relationships. I focus on some romance between characters. All of the fighting gets so tiring. What a fan. But yeah. So yeah, anyway, generally speaking, Goobertown Hobbies, not a fan. Think the guy's creepy as shit. And yeah. So, Hellstorm Wargaming, 1,000% soy. Bullshit. He's not 1,000% soy. This motherfucker is 20 billion% soy. This guy has never known a based moment in his entire fucking life. He is a shill for GW. He is a shill for the woke. He will say the most horrendous bullshit. I even fucking pointed out in the past that this motherfucker straight up said, when he was asked, why female Space Marines, why not Sisters of Battle? And he straight up said, because they're not the poster boys. He straight up said the motivation of the woke not too long ago. This is a couple months ago. Actually, I don't even think it's a couple. I think it was like a month ago. The motherfucker said that. This guy is a cuck and a simp through and through. Eden's $5. Thank you so much. I run a company in similar space to Warhammer. A lot of these issues are from hiring companies. I tried once and they all follow California DEI laws. Yeah, like, dude, if you're running companies like that, good on you for not, I'm assuming anyway, you said you tried once and they all, so I assume that you didn't go with them because of DEI stuff. Don't fall for this crap. Like, whatever you do, save those companies by keeping them free of that crap. I'm not saying, like, go choose a side, but don't involve wokeness. Focus on the fandom, focus on the hobbies of whatever those companies are related to. Obviously, I'm giving business advice here. I should say I'm not qualified to, but don't. Okay? Don't. That's my recommendation. But yeah, Hellstorm Wargaming, the guy is the lowest of the low. I despise this guy. Like, he's pathetic. Truly pathetic. So, hey, you leave that multi-million-dollar company alone. Yeah, it's always fun seeing like the woke say stuff. Like they basically say stuff like that. Maybe not word for word, and sometimes I swear they've said it word for word. They might as well. It's funny how hard they defend a company when that company acquiesces to them. But if that company doesn't openly acquiesce to them, they're far more hostile than anybody else combined. But yeah, 1000% soy tried to bully others who disagreed with him. Still does that. Generally an insufferable asshole. That's being kind. Sees Nazis everywhere. I swear, like he sees them whenever he closes his eyes too. Like his eyelids are Nazis. Don't be surprised if one day a stream turns on and his eyelids been ripped off, and people ask him, "Why did you do that?" He's like, "Because they were so transphobic," or some crap. Preemptively blocks people who share other opinions or say any criticism about him. He blocked me. Oh, yeah, he blocked me in the middle of my live stream when I called him out forever ago. Bricky, ashamed of being 40k fan. I don't know about that part. I don't know about that part. I don't get the vibe. Lord Moment, Asmogan, another 40chan leak dropped today. Send it to your DMs if you want to check it out later. Might check it out. I want to pull it up before I give it the time of day. But thank you for sharing that with me, man. Appreciate it. But I don't know if I'd say Bricky is ashamed of being a 40k fan. I've never seen that. I don't think I've ever gotten that vibe either. I mean, the guy made some of the biggest comprehensive hooks for like new uninitiated fans. To be fair, that's led to a lot of problems in hindsight. But oh yeah, he's left leaning. Like I'll say that Bricky is woke. He definitely belongs on the red list. His response to this situation in particular, like if you've seen it, the guy's a show. Like he straight up bent the knee, but he was always going to. The guy's woke. He himself has said, "I'm woke," and if you followed his content for any amount of time, he's woke. Granted, for a while, I had enough respect for him because he never really bled it into his 40k videos, as far as I was concerned. Like maybe he said like a word here and there, like diverse and inclusion. But generally speaking, whenever he talked about 40k on Dice Check or on his own channel, it tended to be hobby focused, and he left politics out of it. But if you've ever seen any of his other videos, the guy's always been openly woke. The guy's a hardcore wokey. Shocker. So his take didn't surprise me. But as for the line ashamed of being a 40k fan, never seen anything like that. So I'm not gonna put that on him. I've never seen that, never gotten that vibe. I just think he doesn't see 40k correctly. Like he sees it as a place, a bastion where wokeness can be. And then again, he probably sees that about any hobby. Like any hobby, wokeness can belong because he's a political ideologue. He will follow those lines. But as for ashamed of being a 40k fan, I wouldn't put that on him. Bricky supports Pride and Warhammer. I know. He is a loser. I agree. Virtue signaling for brownie points. That I'll definitely give him. The guy virtue signals for brownie points, and he definitely acquiesces to any woke push. He was totally chill with the idea of female space marines. The guy's not a true fan. Like, again, shocker. Havoc, thank you so much for the $10, man. It's very generous of you. Don't have the financial situation to support a repeated Patreon, but here's a mite to support Warglaive. Hey, any little bit you guys give is perfectly okay with me. Like, even if you just want to give $1, that's fine. You don't want to give anything and you just want to tell me how excited you are about it, that's great support too. That's great motivation. You know, keeps the passion up, knowing so many people are excited for it. So, thank you. That's way more than I could ever ask of you. So don't be like, hey, I'm not in a good situation. No. The fact that you gave anything at all, immensely appreciated. Don't undersell your contribution, ever. Thank you. I appreciate it immensely. But yeah, Bricky, total woko, total nut job. I don't have a lot of respect for the guy. I respected him a little bit more towards this beginning of Adeptus Ridiculous, before DK Diamantes really got on my nerves. That guy, jeez. Like, he says the exact same, like, 6 or 7 lines in response to saying, he's like, oh, I would never have expected that. Like, stuff like that. It drives me nuts listening to some of his reactions to Ricky breaking down the lore. Like, at first I thought it was charming, but then when it got super repetitive, I stopped watching. Captain Falcon, thank you for the $1.99, man. Much appreciated. Ricky got me into 40k, kind of sad to see. Yeah, and I feel like that's the case for a lot of people. Because again, like in defense of Ricky, small defense, those initial videos where he's just explaining the lore, he's explaining the stuff, there's nothing woke about it. He doesn't push any political ideology. He just breaks down the stuff. Admittedly, not very lore accurately, but he gave the gist, which was fair enough. And if someone wanted to know more, they could look into it and look at the corrections to his BS and look at what's accurate, what's not. People could do that. So I won't take that away from Ricky, but what I will take away from him is any respective integrity to the lore. I definitely don't think he had any of that. Bored with Gaming, thank you for another £5. Thank you so much. You're so generous today. Someone tweeted about female space wolves, to which I replied that they were reserved for the furries. It's true. It's true. As it is in general, the furries have taken over space wolves so much lately. I remember, like, way before all this crap. Remember when they put up those helmets, the new helmets that were like the wolf helmet? And, like, there was a bunch of people responding to that on Twitter, like, with woof woof, unironically. I was like, space wolves have fallen. Okay. Space wolves have fallen. That sucked. So, the furries have supplanted themselves there a while ago. The Enthusiast Gamer says, it's not a super chat, but it doesn't need to be. Appreciate you, Asmogan. You tell it like it is. That's who I am. Again, if you want honesty, bluntness, and a little bit of aggression, I'm the one to go to. If you're looking for more calm, reasonable, like, perspectives, go to Wheezy. If you're looking for philosophical or more, carefully thought out discussions and stuff like that, as well as just calling it out like it is most of the time, go to Arch. There's plenty. And if you want, like, comedy, you want jokes, you want trolling, you want mockery of this stuff, like I do, but even, like, more, like, wacky, go to Gamza. And also Gamza 3D printing. He's got lots of resources for it. His Patreon's full of this stuff. Again, Gamza's also a great source for that stuff. So, you got options. But if you want blunt honesty, you want that aggression, you want calling it how it is, that's me. And I make no apologies for it. I'm starting at the beginning of your feed, so hope this gets set as a regular video later. It should be, I'm going to leave the live stream up, and I don't think I'll need to edit it down. So the live stream should be perfectly public. Like, I'm not going to do that thing a lot of YouTubers do where they, like, live stream, they record the live stream, and then they edit it into a video or multiple videos. For me, if I really feel passionate about a specific segment that I'm worried a lot of people won't check out because they don't want to watch a long stream, I might splice something out, but I'm not going to take down the stream it came from. I don't generally do that unless the stream gets demonetized for some reason and is blocked in places. That's happened before, and I've taken it down just because I don't like the idea of a stream being blocked some places and available others. Otherwise, at that point, I'll just take the video, record over it, and then upload whatever, minus whatever YouTube got pissy about, and put it up. But, yeah. But keep up the good fight. I intend to. I watch a lot of your YouTube and Arch. Appreciate it, and I know Arch does for sure. Arch appreciates y'all. I appreciate y'all. Gamza appreciates y'all, and so is Wheezy. We're passionate fans and content creators. We want 40K to be successful, and now, with things the way it is, we certainly want it to be successful in spite of GW as opposed to alongside it. Maybe in the past, if they had been a less shitty people and less corrupted, maybe we could have had both. But anyway, Midwinter Minis. Oh boy, if you guys are new to my channel, boy, do I have a video to direct you guys to. I have a video to direct you guys to. Oh, good sweet lord. It's a while back, but I'll direct you there anyway. Hold on. Jeez, how long has it been since then? Crap, it has been a while, hasn't it? It feels like it was only a little while ago. There it is. So, almost a year ago now. Wow.
The enemy wishes to fight!
Yeah. About a year ago, 11 months, I did this video. Thank you, Giga Mango Fanta, for the $2. Much appreciated. How does it feel to be vindicated years later? Feels amazing. Feels fantastic. Not really. Well, I'll tell you this. The vindication feels great, and I know Arch feels the same, because we've been calling this out for years. But, oh boy. I would rather, like, this is the thing. I do get a satisfaction from being right when I call stuff out, but that satisfaction is killed a little bit by the fact that it's at the cost of my hobby being violated. Holy crap, Volpine Phantom with the $20. Thank you for the super generous super chat, man. Thank you. I tried to take the Femstodies with a grain of massive salt, but after all the gaslighting by GW and fans, I'm on board with ditching the new editions and playing 5th. Also weird that I'm a furry and prefer Black Templar. Well, that's like a Twilight Zone moment. I'm a furry, but I like Black Templars. Let me introduce you to Flash Gift. Jokes aside, you know, I do make a lot of jokes at the expense of furries. If you are subscribed to me, prior warning, I make jokes at your expense all the time. I don't get the whole furry thing. Maybe I'm too vanilla. I've met some based furries, Urus, in my community. He's an example. Love him to death. I tease him all the time about it. I don't get it. Don't come to me with it too much. And I will tease it from time to time. If you could take that, you're welcome. And thank you so much for the super generous super chat, man. Thank you. All right. So, but yeah, I highly recommend you guys check this out. The midwinter, obviously it's my video, so I'm going to do that. But if you want, I covered this a while back when Midwinter Minis went full extra credits on Bolt Action. That was hilarious, and it's only proved to be more and more relevant since. Giga Mango Fento, thank you for the $5. I have noticed that the big 40k channels, apart from Warhammer, because fuck GW, have yet to address and call out this stuff. What's keeping them, in your opinion? I think the vast majority of them are going to be kind of like the people in the yellow here. Fence sitters. Not openly woke or anti-woke, need more scrutiny, mostly painting channels, blah, blah, blah. The fence sitting. It's from a business standpoint. The bigger 40k channels built their brands alongside 40k. They have attached themselves to 40k solely. If 40k has a huge controversy and is going under, that is directly attached to their brands. Valric is going to be ambivalent at best to these kind of situations and diminish the negativity of the actions done by GW to gaslight and lie to the community. So is Major Kill, so is a lot of those types, without directly calling a whole half of the community Nazis, fascists, racists, transphobes, homophobes, etc., all the istanisms. They're not going to do that because they're trying to do a balancing scales. They're trying to balance defending GW and therefore their brands, therefore their source of income. Valric himself said it in that video. I didn't show it, but he does say it during the stream that his brand is attached to GW and it is his business. It's his full-time job. So he's directly connected to it. He's reliant on it. And people aren't going to watch a lot of videos. Don't forget Leaky Cheese. Oh, I don't forget about Leaky Cheese. That guy's just a psychopath, though. Like, he's not even like a big creator or anything. The guy's a douche. He's a psychopath. Like, what I'm talking about here is completely different. These people I don't think are psychopaths. Leaky Cheese is a psychopath. Like, that guy, if he's not a psychopath, he's a sociopath. Take your pick. The guy is evil. Straight up. He's the scum of the earth. If you're looking for the ultimate grifter, and, well, not even really grifter. He's dedicated himself to the left for sure. But if you're looking for like the ultimate, whatever the fuck to call that, like, he'll make alt accounts, accuse other people of it. He'll straight up lie. And he'll block and ban and do all this crazy stuff and say horrendous shit, advocate for violence against people because they don't agree with him. Like, this guy is the epitome of the lowest of the low. If you're looking for the word evil in the dictionary, his YouTube channel and his existence exist tangentially directly related to it. To the average woke, more or less. The only thing that stand out about him is he actually went a little far with some of the evil shit he's done. No offense, bro, but he has like 12k subs. Even if botted, he's a comparable size to you. I don't know why that would offend me. I'm not sure I understand that perspective. No offense, bro, but he has like 12k subs. And? Your point? I'm waiting for a point to be made there. Giga Mango Fanto, $5. Thank you so much, man. In other words, they're going to try to ignore an ever-growing elephant in the room in hopes the storm will subside rather than see it as a fatal poison. Pretty much. They're trying to ride the storm. The only reason any of them will react to it at all is if there's just an overwhelming amount of pressure from their communities to do so. Like, if they can get away with it, a lot of them are just going to straight up avoid talking about it whatsoever. You called him not that big, but, well, he's not that big. Neither am I. That doesn't translate to me being like, I'm an amazingly large channel. As it is, I mentioned earlier, you probably weren't here for it, but I mentioned earlier, I'm surprised I got on the list. I don't even think, I was shocked I was on the list. You kidding me? I'm 7 I only just hit 7K like a few days ago, and it was because of this controversy. Granted, not the way I wanted to hit 7K. Would have been nice if it was because of my lore videos. It would have been nice if it was because of some of my painting streams. Would have been nice for those reasons. But I guess I'll take it, Can't complain too much. Volpine Phantom for $5. Thank you so much. I rag on furry fandom all the time, so it's cool. It's trash. Best example of failed gatekeeping, in my opinion. I'll heavy flamer it with you. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, here's the thing. If you are of like something, if you are a furry or anything like that, I will rag on those things, but I don't think they're inherently like bad traits or anything like that. It's just, I don't get it. But, yeah, like you're like, here's the thing. I only rag on certain people in certain communities. Generally, not because of anything to do with those communities. Like the LGBTQ plus, for example. I'll rag on some people in the LGBTQ plus for sure. But it's never because they're LGBTQ. I don't give a damn. I do not give a fuck who you fuck or what you like to be called as. I don't care. Especially if I don't interact with you on a daily basis, it has no impact on me. Don't care. But the moment you start like telling people what they can and can't say, the moment you start doing that crap, yeah, then it becomes then I start shitting on you hardcore. But you'll notice it has nothing to do with your characteristic. It has everything to do with your behavior. That's me. I don't know the truth of that, Lost McGinnis, so I'm not going to comment. That's a bit of a strong accusation if true. I will say I won't be surprised, but that's a bit far without me seeing any kind of evidence. By the way, I think I missed it real quick. Edward Bailey, you said earlier. I'm sorry I missed it. Auspex has a full-time job outside of YouTube. Yeah, and that's probably why he's, in his case of not commenting on it. Actually, I think he did, didn't he? Unless I'm having a brain fart moment and he didn't. Assuming he didn't, yeah, it's probably why. Because it's also probably why he's less of a lore hound. Well, not him having a job IRL is not why, but he's probably more game focused. Like I said, even outside of all this like lore stuff, he's been game focused anyway. So real life job or not, I can see him not talking about it because he just doesn't care about the lore. I'm not saying that that's 100% the case. He probably does care about the lore, but not enough to comment on it, which I respect that more than commenting on it and then giving a brain dead take and using pretzel logic to defend GW. Like, if you're going to comment on it honestly. Otherwise, what's the point? Gigo Mango Fanta for $5 says, I term the hacktivist infiltrating these IPs as AINOs? Or activists in name only, or ain't no fucking way these psychos are 40k fans. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. They are activists. Like, it's not in name only. They absolutely are activists. They're not fans. So they'd be phenos. Fans in name only. Because that's the part that's not true. They're 100% activists. They're just shitty, horrible people on top of it, but they're activists. That part's true. The part that's not true is that they're fans. Because a fan wouldn't advocate for the shit that they advocate for. Alright, so I've gone through a lot of super chats. If you throw any more out there, guys, don't worry. I'll hit on them, but I do want to get through the list. So let's go back to the Reds. I think I left off on Midwinter Minis. So Midwinter Minis, woke, famous for implying that people who play Germany and Bolt Action are Nazis. That is true. And again, I made a video covering that. If you want to go check that out, by all means do so. It's right on the channel. Just scroll down. It's 11 months old. You'll find it fairly quickly, I think. Yeah. If you've seen that video, you know my take, but for those who haven't, Midwinter Minis, I used to be a fan of. I'm going to be perfectly disclosing on that. I was a fan of Midwinter Minis for a long time. Loved a lot of DIY videos. Loved a lot of his painting challenge videos. His advice video, his tips and tricks, stuff like that. The guy, I genuinely picked up a lot of good painting skills from. That being said, it's amazing how in a single week, I went from respecting the guy and would have named him as my favorite painting channel to despising the guy. Because he had such a brain dead take. Like before that, I don't remember him ever mentioning politics ever. Like, I can't think of a single instance before that. But again, in 1 week, he paints a tank and then talks about how his right-hand woman, which a bunch of stuff came out about that, and I'm not going to bring that up because that has nothing to do with any... I have low opinions of cheating, but I don't know that that's true. I don't know the detail. Like, the facts are minimal there. It's mostly circumstantial evidence and stuff. So again, it's not my place to comment on that. If true, big if, that he did cheat on his wife with Maddie Hattie, with her, and all that. And if that's true, scumbag, total trash human. But I don't know that to be the truth. So I'm not going to comment on it, and that also has nothing to do with the situation. So, yeah. Throwing that aside. The staying restricted to what he said and the woke crap that leaked into him after that, yeah, I lost all respect for Midwinter Minis after that. Like, again, all respect, all appreciation, up in flames like that. To say that everybody who plays the Wehrmacht in bolt action are Nazis, really? Someone's got to play a bad guy. Someone's got to play it. And some people might just like the design of the tank. Some people might just like the design of the armor. You have, like, to insinuate and heavily imply that everybody who plays the Wehrmacht in bolt action or any World War II equivalent is a Nazi or a Nazi adjacent or is at all entertaining Nazi ideals. No. Like, that's a level of brain rot and Twitter brain that is beyond redemption and beyond repair. Beyond it. Completely. Not even getting into the nuance of the fact that not everyone in the Wehrmacht was a Nazi. Like, the only Nazi exact branch of the military was the SS. So, but again, that's a huge conversation in itself. Regardless of that. Again, even if someone did play just explicitly the SS or bolt action, that doesn't mean that they like the Nazis. They might just like the aesthetic. They might be a fan of Hugo Boss. Does that mean does that mean they believe in a fascist state? No. It's a game, you weirdo. But yeah, he belongs firmly after that situation, and I have no idea if he's commented on this crap. I don't care. But if he has, I have no doubt what his opinion would be. Midwinter Minis, total shame, to be honest, having been a fan, but yeah, belongs in the red. Discourse Minis, where do I even begin? That woman just bitches and bitches. Actually, let me double check. I'm talking. Hold on. Might not be the person I'm thinking of. Is it the person I'm thinking of? It is the one. Okay, back to what I was saying. That woman bitches and bitches and bitches about 40K. Holy crap. Also her thumbnails, by the way. Like, just to woke stuff aside, let's attack something stupid specifically to her, right? This woman, hold on, let's open it up here. Discourse Minis. Let's real quick take a look at her YouTube channel. What do you notice just in like the first like 20 videos? This her woman, I don't know if she's trans or not. I don't care. Regardless, I'm just using this pronoun. Just seriously, this person bitches and bitches about Warhammer. This is not a fan. Like, this person's never been a fan. Like, never. This is not a fan of 40K. Yeah, but yeah, like, outside of that, the content's lazy as shit. Don't get me wrong, it's working clearly for her, to her credit. I mean, she's got 35.9k subs. Congrats to her, I guess. She has half 100K views on every video. So clearly, nobody minds the lazy bullshit. I guess. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. To be fair to her and my content, I definitely reuse some formats for sure. But you'll notice there's a bit more diversity in my thumbnails and my uploads. Especially when we start going to live streams. I mix it up, I switch it around. I change some stuff. You go to her channel, like, you scroll for a while, it's the same arm over head pose looking depressed, like, 1,000 times. Like, I'm not gonna shit on a YouTuber for every couple of videos reusing the same pose, same phrase. Fine. But by God, like, diversify, woman. But aside from that, the real thing to shit on her for is her horrible, like, takes. Meticulous Chaos, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Female custodians are ridiculous, but why shame people for avoiding the topic? This has become akin to forcing people to declare their abortion stance. Clearly, you have not been watching the stream, because I have actually said several times, I've said this several times, there's nothing wrong with avoiding the topic. I never said that was a negative. Someone asked me earlier, like, hey, why do you think they're avoiding it? I explained why. Their brand's attached to it. It's as simple as. I'm not in any way shaming them for that. Thank you for the super chat regardless. But I'm not shaming them for that. And let me make it clear. If someone is avoiding the topic, I don't think of you negatively. I don't appreciate the silence, but it's not inherent negative. Negative being shitty is talking about it and then blatantly insulting the intelligence and fandom of people who do have a problem with it. That is a problem. That is what I will ridicule, and that is what I will shit on you for. 100%. And you deserve nothing less. But if you just simply avoid the topic because of the controversy, because of the issues, by all means do it. I get it. I can respect that to an extent from a business standpoint for sure. I can get that. I do. That's fine. Better to avoid it and not give an opinion than to get into it half-assed at best and fence ride. Better to do it that way. That's me. Wasn't targeted at you, just community at large. All right, fair enough. And thank you for the super chat for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, to anybody who is like shitting down people's throats for not talking about it, here's my thing. I think it's fine for people not to talk about it. I do. Like, it's, again, I just said it, but it's better to be yellow than the red. Because at least these people, again, to give credit where it's due, as much as I don't like Luton, but that's for wider reasons, and that, again, it's because he did comment on it. But the thing is, well, actually, it's not even yellow. Because the thing is, fence sitters are commenting on it. So they are laying down the gauntlet. They are starting shit. Don't do this. Generally speaking, here's the thing. You either need to, if you're going to avoid the topic as in actually not talk about it, I respect that. That's fine. And I think the rest of the community should do that. Better to not talk about it and stay out of it, especially if they know that their take is just going to cause more flames to the fire, and they don't want that. They can't handle the heat. Or if it's just a business decision and they don't feel the need to create the division in their community. That's fine. Better to stay out of it than not. Into the community at large, don't vilify and don't rebuke people for staying out of it. Focus all that energy on the motherfuckers who are commenting and are insulting your intelligence and gaslighting you just like GW is and telling you how it's fine, it's good, it's positive. We're beating out the chuds. We're pushing out the Nazis. You know? Fuck those people. Focus your energy on calling them out. If people just want to stay out of it, let them. Let them. They're trying to find what enjoyment they can. If anything, you should feel sympathy for that. Because some people just can't handle the heat, and that's fine. Not everyone could be an asshole like yours truly. Where can I find this list? Right over on Twitter. Check out Chainsword40k, at Chainsword40k. It should be one of his top posts. Let me real quick share it in the chat for those who want to pull it up. Boom. And I'll also put it in the description. I think I forgot to do that. Yeah, I forgot to do it. All right. List. Link. Boom. Boom. It's also in the description. So I can also point people there. Anyway. Chat. What? Chat group. What I miss? Okay. Anyway. So that was... So yeah, Discourse Minis. Back to her. She milks the shit. Like, here's the thing. People could accuse me of milking this situation, and in a sense, I am. But I'm not milking it for views and stuff. I don't really do that. I'm milking the situation because I want to keep focus and keep heat on GW's ass for pulling this crap. That's my focus. So I will agree to the accusation anyone wants to put on me that I'm milking it, for sure. But the reasons, let's get that straight. The reasons I'm covering this topic so extensively and every time there's any kind of update is because I want everyone here, everyone in the community, to keep heat on GW's ass until they either pull back and reverse this crap, or they set the final nail in their coffin and we can all properly lock down the community. Because we care. Exactly. Thank you. Also, welcome the Finn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, Discourse Minis, like, that woman, that she milks the shit out of, like, her spite and disdain for content. Like, if you just look in her YouTube channel, outside of the laziest shit thumbnails and crap, this woman constantly says, Games Workshop's just failed Warhammer. How did Warhammer just get worse? Games Workshop just ended Warhammer's biggest scam. Actually, to be fair, that one's positive. The Warhammer crisis gets worse. The Warhammer scalping scandal just got worse. Constantly titles and crap like that. Thank you, Giga Mango Fanta, for the super chat. Much appreciated generosity. Where do you think Mr. Bones 40k and Pancreas No Works may be rated? Bones is a Canadian, so points automatically deducted, but he... I love how that's an automatic deduction. You're Canadian. Here's a reduction in your score. He does critique GW's stupidity. Pancreas has yet to mention anything. I don't think... Have either of them mentioned anything? I can't think of anything off the top of my head Pancreas has mentioned. Pancreas, no work. Has he said anything? I don't think he has. Nope. He did a video yesterday, though. Rogue Trader, Money, Power, and More Money. Gods of Warhammer, the Gold Gods. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's made a dedicated video, nor... I mean, he did a live stream 9 hours ago. We watched Into the Afterlife, but it looks like he's just playing Vermintide. So, yeah, it doesn't look like he's commented, so pure speculation. Generally, what I know of Pancreas No Work, I'm not the biggest fan of Pancreas No Work, so take it from where it comes. Generally, I'm assuming where he may be rated is probably going to be green, because he's not commenting on it. You know, he's sticking to himself. He's not poking the bear. He's not giving a shit take. He's not insulting half the community. And I don't recall him ever calling out, like off the top of my head, keep that in mind. Off the top of my head, I don't recall him calling out much drama or much BS like this in the past. So generally, I think his modus operandi is to avoid it. So I'd say green, assuming he continues to avoid it. But we'll see. And Mr. Bones 40k. I actually don't know if I know Mr. Bones 40k. The name's not hitting me. Yeah, I don't know this channel. So I can't comment on Mr. Bones 40k, to be fair. Can't comment, and therefore I'm not going to. I don't want to give speculation where I don't have any. Lord Metalman says, Asmogan, GW messed up again, this time with Orc Codex printing, put multiple different languages in the same codex on different pages. What? Granted, that's nowhere near as bad as the female custodies crap, but that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I'll definitely go over that another time. Like that. Yeah, they put fucking Korean on there. Okay. Okay. But yeah, Discourse Minis. The woman is a hate farmer for 40k in GW, so she belongs in the red on a good day anyway, just from being a milker. And Jesus Christ, these fucking thumbnails. But yeah, doesn't surprise me. Does belong on there. I think that's fair. Alright, so Arbitrator Ian, in his lore videos, multiple times saying that 40k elements are problematic, openly woke on Twitter, there is no canon for him. Yeah, pretty much sums up Arbitrator Ian just fairly. For him, advocating for female Space Marines. Yep, Arbitrator Ian is a douche. Shocker. I know. There's no other way to put it. I don't like Arbitrator Ian. But that's on a good day. So, not much more to say other than that. Not a fan. 52 miniatures. Advocating for female Space Marines have some woke vibes. I don't know them, to be fair. 52 miniatures. That's another one I don't know. I know I have a lot more than 52 miniatures, that's for sure. They did a collab with Midwinter Minis 10 days ago, so I guess I'll leave it at that. That certainly doesn't vote in favor of them. Also, like, their logo is very... Granted, that's just like the paint scale, but you could also apply that to being a little LGBTQ. But I don't know the channel, so I'm just... Vibes-wise, I guess I agree with that. They did an interview with Midwinter Minis of all people, so... At the very least, they're looking over his crap. So I will leave this to the list to describe, because I don't know the channel, to be fair. Temple and Institute. Oh, boy. Again, if you're a fan of my channel, you've been around any amount of time, you know I got some history with this motherfucker. Oh, boy. I have a history with this guy. Oh, boy. So, Temple and Institute, I shit on pretty hardcore way back a few months ago when he was talking a load of fucking shit on Twitter. Being like a huge hard ass, acting like he was the big kid on the block, you know, talking about how he's gonna slap down any of those guys who think they know 40k because they clearly don't, because they don't agree with me. Yeah. He on Twitter, the way he was talking about an upcoming stream and video, you would have thought this guy had proven beyond any shadow of a doubt that female Space Marines was the right move, the correct move, and was lore accurate. The guy was such a fucking insufferable cunt on Twitter, acting and talking a huge load of shit. And what does he do when he releases his video? Pusses out. Pusses the fuck out. You kidding me? In his video, total 180 from how he acted on Twitter. The keyboard warrior he was on Twitter, especially when you put it side by side with that bullshit he put on his video, where he was like, well, you know, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Just feel free to voice it in the comments and we'll have a friendly discourse, because I'm not saying I'm right. On Twitter, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I'm correct. All of you are wrong. And if you dare disagree, you're not a real fan. You don't know anything about the lore. In the video, well, guys, it's just I really think there's not much of a canon, because this is a little inconsistent, but if you don't agree, that's fine. Total pussy. Total pussy. Oh, God. So, yeah, I called his ass out. Called his ass out hard, and I shit on him extensively. It was an interesting video. I know it was one of my more popular videos from at the time. I called him intellectually dishonest because he was. He was straight up lying at certain points. The guy was a total bitch. And I even streamed the release of his video because he was hyping it up so much. And it should come as no surprise, I shat on him. Like, I in the stream, I also was adding him in his own comment section, which he deleted my comment, by the way. But I was adding him in his own comments, and on Twitter, I DM'd him and said, dude, you want on the channel? I'm watching your shit right now. Let's have a conversation. You're so confident to your take, right? You talked all this shit on Twitter, right? Come on down. Come in. I'll bring you on call and we'll have a conversation. He didn't do it. And I think he blocked me on Twitter. He didn't do it. He bitched out. And he stopped replying to my comments on his video because I made multiple. And I invited him on like 3 times. I know he deleted 2 of them. I invited him on. I said, hey, I'm live right now. You want to have that conversation? Come on down. Let's have it. Let's do it. Let's do it live. Did he do it? Nope. Bitched out. Bitch the fuck out. Again, guy acted like he was packing on Twitter in his video. Total bitch. Total bitch. It was hilarious. So yeah, Template Institute. The list says not strictly Warhammer YouTuber, but advocating for female space marines. Yep. Woke on social media. Absolutely. Template Institute is total trash. Total trash. Talks a big game. Pure keyboard warrior. Guy doesn't actually stand by anything he says. He'll grift till as long as the day as long as the day is long. Like the guy is total piece of shit. So yeah. By the way, Template Institute, if you see this, you're still welcome to come on my show. You talk the big game on Twitter. You talk like you're the big guy on campus. You're not afraid of little old me, right? Open invitation anytime. I do open mics on occasion. Be happy to have you. Come on down. Come in the show. We'll have a nice conversation. Well, it'll be nice for me. Yeah. Nah, I don't think that's going to happen. But Adeptus Ridiculous, podcast with Bricky. I lost all respect for it. Listening to DK Diamante's act, surprised about like everything. And again, he said the exact same stuff like over and over again. Like, yeah. I was a huge fan of Ridiculous when it started. Not so much. Not so much no more. It really got old fast. Was that a southern accent? My accent is screwed up. I moved around a bit in my childhood, so it's a bit screwed up. But there might be a little bit of one in there. Because I know we lived in Kentucky for a couple years when I was really young. But regardless, I can do a little bit of an accent here now. None of them accurate, but I can do 1,000 voices. I can feel proud knowing that I can act like a fool. Alright, so Oculus Imperia, woke on social media. I don't have much to say about Oculus Imperia. Doesn't surprise me though from what little I do know. I do know Oculus Imperia, just not much to say. So yeah. Freya Blood X, the same. I find DK a bit irritating at times. I think I didn't at first because I thought it was genuine like excitement and stuff. But as the episodes went on, I want to say by like the 7th episode, I kept like rewatching old episodes. Like he says this exact same line here, just like remove out in relation to this thing with this thing, but otherwise it's the same sentence. It's said the same way. It just felt fake. Like half of his reactions felt like he was exaggerating them or being hyperbolic. His voice really got grating on me. Yeah, I was just super unimpressed as the series went on. And at some point, I just settled on the idea it was fake. Like, his reactions were fake anyway. I'm sure he was still new to all of it. I don't think that part was fake, but he was blowing it up for the camera. What is this list? This list is it's like the naughty and nice list. That's what I've been calling it. It's the naughty and nice list for 40k content creators. It's basically, here's the woke, here's the anti-woke, and here's the fence sitters. So, so Snipe and Wib, or I don't know why I always say Wib and Snipe. Snipe and Wib, openly leftist. Yep, expressed disappointment that they are not on the woke list, so I added them. Good on you. Snipe and Wib, not a fan. Surprising, I know. And Dana Howell, openly progressive and leftist. Dana Howell has scarred me for life. Mainly because I had a friend on my Discord who I wish he was more active. I miss him. I don't miss him for this though. Jesus Christ. But he sent me screenshots of apparently her Pornhub account. They're like outside of the wokeness, I'm scarred for life. Holy shit. I'm calling him out. Screw you, Forlorn, for doing that to me. Fuck you. You have damaged me. Trauma. I have PTSD now every time I see her name. I blocked her on YouTube, not even because I hate her content. A couple of her painting videos, actually, to be fair, are good. But I cannot unsee the horror that has been sent my way. The damage is done. My ocular nerves are permanently fried with the thumbnails of those videos she had. Holy crap. Yeah. Point being made. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't need to talk about that anymore. But yeah, outside of that crap, openly leftist, openly progressive, yeah, 100%. No amount of therapy is going to fix Asgard. No, it's not. Forlorn did damage that day, and he meant to, and he succeeded. Oh yeah, but yeah, Dana Howell is hard left leaning. Like in the same boat as Goobertown Hobbies, in the same boat as Midwinter Minis. Done a lot of collabs with Midwinter Minis to tell you where it comes from. So, well, it doesn't come from that, but in relation, yeah, that about sums it. Giga Mango Fanta for the $5. Thank you for the generosity. Bricky and DK are to 40k what Dick Masterson and Vito, the PDF file, are a drama farming, pure attention seeking garbage. A man with a cringe and slash graining B man. Yeah, that's fair to be honest. Again, I'm not gonna apologize for liking it initially, but it definitely became clear it was a shtick. You know, like DK Diamantes was doing a shtick. Bricky was doing a shtick. It also didn't help that the accuracy of the lore Bricky was espousing was getting worse and worse. I think the worst episode was the Ultramarines episode. Listen, I hate the Ultramarines, but they left out so many details. Like so many things that were valid lore, and even straight up like mentioned something that was just blatantly untrue. Like again, the inaccuracies were growing as that series was going. And the defense for calling any of that out, by the way, was always, oh, well, they're just kind of talking like friends would about this stuff. I don't know about you, but when I talk to my friends about the lore and I'm trying to get them into it, I tell them how the lore is. I don't give them a cringy, memey shtick version that's just incorrect. I tell them the correct lore. I tell them how it is. I add memes and shticks aside as jokes, but I specify, hey, but this is how this is. Jokes aside, this is how it is. Jokes aside, this is how this is. I specify. You're not doing your friend any favors by almost lying. Like, you're giving them details that are incorrect. So, yeah, like, the defense, I thought, was really cheap for that. It's like oh, it's just how friends would tell each other about it. No, I'd tell my friends the accurate lore. I wouldn't give them a false impression. But that's entirely woke disconnected. That's just bad shows. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I really liked it at the start. Really fell out of it quickly after the first few episodes. Alright, so I think we're all caught up on that. Yeah, that was the list over on Twitter. Twitter. Again, link for it for those who want to check out the list. It's in the description. I shared it in the chat earlier as well. But in the description, click on it, check it out. It's from at Chainsword40k. Cool guy. Listed all this up. By the way, Chainsword, if you see this, if I can give one recommendation for the green list, put Wheezy in there. Put old Wheezy in there. Wheezy Pillar. He deserves a spot, especially after Valric bitched about it on his stream. God. Is Shy still involved with the Depths Ridiculous? I don't know. I stopped watching after pretty much the Gilliman episode. Now I think about it. Yeah. I walked away because it just, again, the shtick was getting old. The reactions from DK Diamantes getting fucking repetitive and very clearly played up at times and other times just straight up fake. So, yeah, I fell out of that show a while back. A long while back. So I don't know if Shy dropped out or not. No clue. And actually, I don't want to look it up because I really like some of Shy's streams and her painting stuff and some of her Warframe videos. I love Warframe. So I don't want to look it up and then unfortunately come across her being woke too. She probably is. Like, I have no doubt. But I like to live in blissful ignorance on that front. At least for my Warframe frame of reference. But, yeah, I have no doubt. Poor Hammer is woke? Yes. Poor Hammer are pretty woke. Not hardcore. I wouldn't say they're bricky level, but it's pretty clear. Daniel Wiltshire, welcome to stream. Hi, I'm new to this channel. I would say I'm a newish 40k fan. I love the dark, grim lore. I started back in early 2020. Well, welcome. How you doing? How you doing? Sorry you're getting into it at a contentious time. I'll put it that way. Sorry for the atmosphere you must enter this all in. What about MS Paint's video? Have you seen it? I have not. MS Paint? Female custodians, yay or nay? Oh boy. Not to judge based on the thumbnails or the way someone looks. I'm not leaning towards this guy being very based. Yeah, I'm also getting the vibe this guy might be the type to be like, oh, you watch my stuff, oh my god, take it down or copyright strike. I'm getting that vibe, so I'm gonna back off before that becomes a thing. Combat detected. I don't know that. I don't know. MS Paint is woke. Shocker. He looks like Vosh. That was the other thing I was thinking, you know. That's the vibe I got. Vosh? I can't believe it's Vosh. Or I can't believe it's not Vosh. Wow. Alright, so with all that out of the way, I did also want to and I'm not gonna play the whole video for you guys because you guys need to watch and give support to Sword and Steel. Go check them out. Make sure to subscribe. Please do that. They deserve it 100%. They also weighed in on the Custodes crap, and I'm just going to play this small segment for you guys. And then again, I'm also going to share the link in the chat. So I'm going to share that in chat a couple of times. And I'm going to play this small segment and then stress to you guys to go over there, support, leave likes, leave comments, because they absolutely deserve it.
Really? No. Adeptus Custodes were not always female. That's just how it is. You might not like it, but that's them facts. I have absolutely no problem with new Adeptus Custodes being females. I don't think it's necessary. I think the Sisters of...
That's the one part I will disagree with. But on the right line. On the right line, lass. And she, again, I'm not going to show you guys the whole thing. You guys really should go over there and support. But she makes a huge point about Sisters of Silence needing more support. Sisters of Silence being abandoned in place of this is ridiculous. She points out that the lying and the gaslighting. Sword and Steel, absolutely. Seems to be Kuman over this. I ain't Kuman. It's just good to get support where it's necessary. And she is a great support. Just semi-based. Mostly based. 90% based. 10%, that's that little bit. But generally speaking, I like Sword and Steel's response to it. I encourage you guys to go over there and formulate your own opinion, of course, though, watching the full video. Imran Khan, welcome to stream. Hey, man, new sub here. Just want to say I really appreciate your base take over the horrendous induction of Femstodes. How it's completely against the lore. Keep up the good fight. I intend to, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who's subscribed and who's been supporting over all this. Again, would have been more happy if you guys had all come in via lore videos and fun painting streams, but better late than never, and there are worse things that could have come out of all this, so much appreciated. And yeah, like I said, I stand by my takes. I stand up strong to things I think are bullshit. I call things how I see them. I'm honest, and I'm blunt. If you want someone who's a little bit more, like, a little bit less aggressive than I am, or a little bit less harsh, probably go for Wheezy. Like I said, Wheezy Pillow is a lot more relaxed, more chill, more tuned back. But, yeah, you want the aggression. You want someone who's going to call it like they see it. Not saying Wheezy won't. Wheezy absolutely does. But, again, in more of a aggressive way, that's me. That's always been me. So, this is where, just take it from where it comes. Giga Mango Fanta for $5. Completely off topic, but more wholesome question. But what for FF chain has the best chicken sandwich? What? But what FF chain has the best chicken sandwich? Popeye. Oh, fast food chain. Okay. Popeyes, Cane's, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or Burger King. Best chicken sandwich? Out of those options, probably Chick-fil-A. Then again, I've only ever had like 2 Popeyes chicken sandwiches in my entire life. So, yeah. I don't think I've ever had Cane's, but I'd say Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has got some banger chicken sandwiches. Like, mwah, yummy. All right, so I am going to do this. So we've kind of reached the end of today's coverage. Yeah, that 4chan leak I want to look at before I cover it. I don't want to do it right on live stream. Because I don't want to put it up and then after reading through, it's like, oh, never mind. It's kind of a waste of time. So I'm going to look over that, and if it's worthy, I'll probably take a video. I'll take a look and make a video out of it. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take a couple of calls. Not too many, but a couple of calls. For those who are, normally I do what's called open mic shows. That's what I normally do. But I don't have, as it is, I'm surprised that my voice is held out this long and my energy's held out this long. But normally when I do like live streams and stuff, I usually do what are called open mic streams, and those are huge community things where, people come in, I take in a bunch of calls, get the community, sit down and have conversations back and forth, allowing the community to voice their opinions. And not just do so in chat, but also, where I could potentially nitpick, but also pull people in a call line and have them directly converse with me, man to man, man to woman, whatever the case may be. Just sit down, get opinions out, and it's not just people I agree with, it's also people I don't agree with, and maybe even staunchly disagree with. If you haven't seen any of my open mics, that's how it usually flows, but today's not an open mic. Today, I'm just going to take a couple of calls at the end of a stream talking about topics. Going to pull some people in, have some quick combos, and then we're going to wrap up. Super chats, I'll pull out if you guys make any, of course. But when I pull people in for the call, I am going to be focusing on them. I will be keeping an eye on the chat if anything catches my eye though. But yeah, I got 3 people already waiting, so I'm gonna pull those people in at one at a time, and we're gonna have some nice conversations. I'm subbing since I am looking for more anti-woke 40k fans. Well, nice to hear it, man. Thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. I am indeed anti-woke. Proudly so. Alright, I'm gonna pull in. Well, first I probably should jump in the call in. Pull in my buddy Nico. Nico, my boy.
My boy, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. But don't you just love when some of these channels are all like, so, there's been a whole, there's been a conversation going on in the 40k community, right? And I just think, I don't really care. You know what I mean? I don't actually care. So it's just considers. Don't you just love them? Don't you just love them?
Oh,
so freaking
totally.
annoying.
Totally.
Absolutely.
It makes my day.
Absolutely. So, and, God, I'm just, it's amazing that you were on this list, man. I was just like, no way.
That
no
did surprise
way.
me. My tiny ass made it on there, which was a bit of a shock, but it was cool.
Badge of honor, man. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And just to clarify, yes, I am anti-woke. So if anyone is just wondering, oh, is he offensive? No, I'm against this shit.
Yeah. By the way, if anyone wondering, this is Nico 40k. Nico has his own YouTube channel as well. It covers some 40k content. Very entertaining. So if you want to check that out, you're also my co-host on our podcast.
Yes, the Vox work.
Yep.
Which reminds me, I do have to. That's the thing. With the boycott going on that me and you have with 40k right now, I'm thinking about using this as an opportunity to work on some of my other projects as well, and maybe
nice.
You know what, maybe gonna do something lore related with underappreciated tabletops. So give people some options.
All right.
All right,
that'd be cool,
and
man.
I was not gonna be here for way too long, but always good to see. Love this coverage, and you have a wonderful day, man.
You too, and thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right, see you, man.
Love you. Bye bye. All right, Nico, first caller, and next pull in the second person in the call. The Lone Wanderer, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Asmon?
I am doing fantabulous.
Well, there is one thing not related to the topic I just wanted to give you a heads up about.
Yeah, feel free.
Your ad when I clicked on your video was about Michelle Obama.
What?
That's a little weird.
That is weird.
Mm.
YouTube are the ones who put those in, not me.
Anti-woke getting ads given to them about woke. Fuck me.
Yeah, that's YouTube's way of giving me the old fuck you.
And speaking of woke, here we go again.
Yeah.
I'd love to say that what happened with Templin should have been,
A
a
one-off?
lesson
Oh, a lesson.
to anyone else. But no.
Should have been.
Mainly because he lost 5,000-6,000 subscribers and then gained them back
Months later.
yeah. And it's like nothing happened. There were no repercussions.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me. But the thing is, the fact that he lost 5,000 subs to begin with over that is still something. Like, some people will get a little hung up on, oh, well, he earned them back, so it doesn't mean much. He still lost them in the first place. He had to earn them back. He had to get them back.
Well, I don't even, to be fair, I don't even think it could be possible that some of them were like, oh, maybe I was a bit too critical. Maybe I should give him a second chance.
Oh, yeah.
But, probably most of them were just new people.
I think most of those were just fans of the other videos that weren't 40K or were other fans and stuff. By the way, thank you, Ishmael Thompson. Shout out to Etsy, better and cheaper minis than GW. Indeed. Etsy's where you, for those of you who don't have a 3D printer yourself and want to pick up some, Etsy's a great place. Great place. I am actually waiting on one right now. Super excited. But man.
Mind you, it's still friggin' expensive.
Oh yeah. It's at the end of the day, this hobby's not going to get super cheap no matter where you go, unless you get a 3D printer. And even then, you have to put out a couple $100 up front. But once you do that, you're printing minis for pennies on the pound.
Yeah.
But
you also have to make sure that you take care of the printer to make sure you don't have to get a new one.
Yeah, that's something.
Upkeep
be very
costs.
Careful. Keep it in a room with as minimal sunlight as you can, because that resin will cake on. Make sure to be very careful with the FEP screens, the build plates. There's a lot of tender love and care you got to give your 3D printers.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It's not for the lazy of disposition.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Anything else you want to say, or?
Yeah. I saw some people on here that I'm not too surprised at. I made a few comments about being a fan of Adeptus Ridiculous myself, if only for the sort of funny jokes. And I was also a fan of DK, and I actually found out that Shy was part of Warframe after finding Adeptus Ridiculous. But some people I know you don't you have your disagreements with Luden and all that, and I don't really care for him either. But I will admit that I'm disappointed to see people like Oculus. I did find his videos to be entertaining. Perhaps not quite on the level of Voldemort, but in a similar fashion. And to find out that he's okay with the lore being changed for the sake of political brownie points.
Yeah, and to me, that's just proof you're not a fan. If you're okay with the hobby changing, if you're okay with the lore changing on a fundamental level to satiate a political ideology, you're not a fan.
No, you're a leech.
Yeah.
I think tourist is too kind of a term for them.
I think it's too kind for sure.
I know. A while back, you and I had a discussion about incels and whatnot, and how I thought that men get enough shit from people already. No need to pile it on them. But in this case, calling people who purposefully want to see a brand change in a fundamental way, or even a non-fundamental way, because once you get your foot in the door, once that centimeter, that nanometer is taken, it's going to be more and more and more and more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, calling them leeches and parasites, yeah, that's completely justified. Because what do you have once they're in? Well, you have Star Wars, you have Ghostbusters, you have Lord of the Rings. Jesus Christ, now we're seeing it in Japan. And someone actually pointed out Matthew Smith, they're colonizers. I'd say that for, Asian works. Capcom.
I certainly think that's I'd still prefer the term leech, but colonizer works as well. It's the same tone. Like, they've come to take what's yours, and they're going to do so with conquering tactics. They're relying on us to be kind. They're relying on us to be understanding and accepting and trying to be the non-aggressors. The thing is, that's again why I stick by my methodology in my approach to things. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm very blunt and I'm very aggressive. Because for me, I've seen what trying to be understanding, respectful, and have meaningful conversation with these types does. It does nothing. Because they don't take any of it on board. If you ever want a great microcosm of it, look up the Radhom debate between Arch and Radhom. In that, I covered it, by the way, if anyone wants to see my point-by-point take of that whole debate. But sum up my take. The debate is a great microcosm of why meeting these people with any level of respect or fairness means nothing. Because they do not care. They despite the fact that fundamentally Radhom and Arch agreed that the hobby needed to be moderated, using the term Radhom kept using, despite the fact that their definitions were the same between his definition of moderating and Arch's definition of gatekeeping, despite the fact that those definitions were identical, and Arch was like, so, we agree that it needs to be gatekept. He fundamentally refused to accept that they did agree on any kind of fundamental point, because ideologically, any level of agreement, even passive agreement, about the definition of a thing or the necessity of an element of a thing was considered a surrender, and he couldn't afford to surrender on any level to Arch. So he had to blanketly, stubbornly disagree with him on everything, despite the fact that he virtually agreed. That's how these guys look at things. They're not trying to listen to you. They're not trying to have a conversation with you. They're not trying to find a middle ground. They have their ground, and you will either accept it and bow down to them, or you'll have yours taken.
Yeah.
Point blank.
And also, I'd argue, I've never actually seen it, and actually before I get to that, I can see your point of view, Kyle, but at the same time, they're going to accuse you of that anyway. So you might as well take that position, because there are some benefits that come from it. No one can accuse you of being a fence sitter, for instance, or trying to play both sides or just wait out the storm. Because they're going to say, oh, you hate us, oh, you want us dead, oh, they're going to do that anyway.
Yeah, they're going to do that regardless. As to that point, though, as much as I hate and despise for these people, I won't take the bait of calling them leeches. I will. And the thing is, you have to be pretty disingenuous to take that, though, and assume that it's, for example, me saying that as I'm implying they need to be exterminated or killed. That's like psycho talk. That's Twitter brain talk. That's people looking too into the terms you're using. When I say leech, it's simply the implication that they're coming in and they're taking they're sucking the joy and the good in what you have and giving nothing back. It's like a parasite. That's exactly what they are. But that doesn't imply I want them dead. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a leap. That's a leap. Like that's like, hey, I'm at 50. Let's jump to 1,000. It's like there's lots of steps in between these. Like, it's a bit of a crazy leap there.
Yeah. Not only that, but they love to change the definitions of words. Why can't we, just to piss them off? Why can't we use their tactics against them?
We can. We just don't do it enough.
No, but also just getting back to the Arch debate. The term moderation and gatekeeping. I think it might also be important to think about where they were coming from. Who should be gatekept out versus who should be moderated.
Oh, that's easy. That's straightforward as well. And I've said as much. Don't gatekeep someone based. Like, that's the thing that they constantly accuse us of. Like and someone even said, like, on Reddit, accused me of making this statement. Like, they act like when someone says that they want to gatekeep, that what they're saying is we want to keep either everyone out or we want to keep everyone out of it, like, based on immutable characteristics. We want to keep the gays out. We want to keep the LGBTQIA out entirely. We want to keep the furries out. We want to keep, like, they act like we want to keep entire demographics out, which is bullshit, because we've never said that. And everyone who's bothered to make points in regards to gatekeeping has stressed it, as I have, as Arch has, that you don't gatekeep based on characteristics or demographics. You gatekeep them out based on their actions, based on their words, based on how they behave. We're not gatekeeping out based on an immutable characteristic. We're like a bouncer at a club. If you see someone approaching with a Molotov cocktail, you don't go, hey, go right on in, welcome. No, you say, get the fuck out. You don't care, like, what race or what sexual identity or whatever he has. No, it's the fact he has a Molotov cocktail in and he clearly has intent to fuck around. You tell him to fuck off. So that's how gatekeeping is to work. And that is exactly... You're a bouncer at a club. You're a gate guardian. You're trying to protect what's beyond it from the psychos who would ruin it.
One thing... I'm not so against the first definition. Keep almost everyone out. I've heard some people, say that. I think Arch actually did once, talking about how they act like, SJW types act like it's supposed to be so puritanical gatekeeping. Well, maybe it should be. Maybe it should be a right of purity. That only the most zealous, to use the term, of the franchise, of the lore, of what makes the intellectual property tick should be allowed in.
I don't agree.
Fair enough. I just think that there are people that
I'm not going to call you anything for saying that, or like, and I don't blame you for having that perspective. Like, I understand why someone, like, a lot of people might be leaning more towards that. Towards like a, hey, if you're not this level of fan, you should gatekeep. I'm not gonna subscribe to that train of thought, because I still want new fans and new people to come in who need to learn and need to be fostered in. But to get to that level, that's a bit far. Because there might be a hardcore anti-woke guy coming in who's just interested in the lore and stuff, but doesn't know anything. He doesn't fit like that criteria of being like one of the most zealoted. And if you gatekeep him out and not give him the chance, then that's just at that point, you know better than the woke. Like the woke are the ones who do that stuff too. Like they are like affirm, hey, if you don't subscribe to us exactly, we need to sift you out. We need to spit on you. We need to shove you into pits. Like, that's what they do. And it's that's too far for me. Gatekeep them out if there's clear intent that they want to change it for no good reason. Gatekeep them out if there's clear intent to change it and there's obviously no real interest in 40k. Gatekeep out based on what shit like Cerberus says, where it's just like, oh, everything should just be about romance and dating, crap like that. Like clear signs
You know, I can't believe someone actually said that.
Yeah, Serb said that. That's been going around. It's hilarious.
In an intellectual property where you have spore monsters, essentially, that just die and create thousands of them that then go on to overpopulate a planet, or something like gene stealers. Yeah, we need more love and romance in a thing. We need more love and romance in a setting where an entire race had their souls torn out of their bodies and got turned into metal monstrosities. It's just so out of left field.
Oh, sorry. Elite in the chat, drag my eye. Gatekeep anyone that isn't a Coomer. Okay, chill out. But yeah. I completely lost my train of thought. Fuck.
New 40k novel coming when an orc loves a kid face.
The orc romance novel that we always meant to be. Well, I'm gonna thank you for coming on, man. I have got another couple people waiting. I'm gonna pull them in, but it was good talking to you again. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Have a good day. Alright. Before I pull the next person, let me skim the chat. Oh, we got a doomer in the chat. Damiano Landy. This is not a movie franchise. We can't save the hobby voting with our wallets. New people will come and adhere to the new paradigm. We will be sidelined chanting, "We're saving the hobby." Fucking doomers. Alright, to doomers everywhere. Chill the fuck out. Okay, chill the fuck out. You're half right. You're half right, potentially. As far as will new people come in to fit in the paradigm? Potentially. With 40k or with any tabletop hobby, that sift is going to be very slow compared to the abrupt loss of so many people and with so much backlash. Not to mention, again, if we keep gatekeeping and we keep telling people, hey, don't support these fuckers. They're woke. Quit being a doomer. Quit being a doomer, dude. Like, even worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. Let's say 40k completely falls woke. All of our efforts go nowhere in terms of convincing GW to do shit. That's quite possible. There's no retraction. We can still win. It's called stop supporting GW permanently. Stick to 3D printing, stick to playing older editions, and stick to playing with your friends. You still win. Don't be a doomer. You can still cut yourself off from them and cut yourself off from the woke bullshit. You just gotta do it the old-fashioned way. By not supporting them. Oh my god. Doom soothsayers. They're like, I see them all the time in my chat. At the end is nigh! The end is nigh! I mean, if GW doesn't back down, we just keep sticking to yourself. You probably have a pile of shame like mine that's massive. And even when you get through it, 3D print, Etsy. Buy a 3D printer. Play older editions. Yeah, they got the books. To be fair, Asmogan, you can play new editions as well. Follow the path of the Corsair/Blackbeard. True. Probably will go woke, and then when it keeps churning out garbage for 4 to 6 years, it'll go back to being faithful in its own setting. Yeah, that's probably fair as well. Like a lot of things that go woke, it's like with any big company, right? They make the mistake, but it's like trying to turn a big ship, right? If you really want them to turn port like 90 degrees or even 180, it's going to take a while. It's not done. It's 5 years later. It takes a while. So, yeah, like you got to be in for the long haul. And the thing is, whenever doomers say shit like that, they're trying to do it's one of 3 reasons. One, it's a psyop and it's a woke person trying to make everyone give up. And and puss out. 2, it's a genuine doomer who is giving up and is saying, the end is nigh, the end is nigh. Those people aren't worth listening to because their idea of victory is incorrect in this case. Like, they think, like, the only way we win is if GW completely rescind what they've done, back it all up, apologize, and then course correct. That's not how it works. We win if they do that for sure, but you win personally by simply cutting yourself off from the woke corruption. Continue to play the game in the background. Continue to flaunt the fact that you're not supporting GW with 3D printed models and Etsy stuff. Play older editions with your friends. Do that stuff. You'll be winning personally. And should that convince GW to revert course correct, we all win collectively. But even if it doesn't, you win personally. Honestly, the only way you lose is if you are against the woke ideology, but you still continue to support GW. That's the only way you lose. Because at that point, you're literally paying them to continue to spit in your face. Oh, yeah, and the third type of doomer is the troll. The people who are like doom soothsaying because they know it annoys people. And if you're doing that, fair enough. Adam Wolf in the chat, BlackRock and the other has lost 100 million. Look how the rat Disney is losing millions. Go watch Valiant Renegade. He shows how much the rat has lost. Oh yeah, I don't even need to. Like, I've seen some of the figures myself and screenshots and stuff. I'm aware. They've lost lots. It'll take a while. It's a big shit, but eventually there will be a course correct. Keep in mind, societally, the pendulum swings much faster than it does, in terms of like big businesses and corporations. They take a lot longer to catch up with the pendulum swing. By the time society is starting to go too far in the other direction, a little too far right, they'll still be somewhat left trying to go center. Unfortunately, it takes a long time. They will not stop these policies, always call them out, and never forget, more or less. I was not trying to be a doomer, whatever that is. Come on, don't be intellectually dishonest. I wasn't trying to be a doomer. I don't know what that is. I couldn't guess based on the name. Dude, seriously? Come on. You gotta have... use your brain power. What do you think doomer means? I was trying to imply that we need to be more proactive approach. Just cannot figure out what yet. Simple. Send letters. Send emails. Flaunt that you're not supporting the hobby, and actually don't support them. Don't give them money. That's all proactive. Sending them death threats is going to be actively causing the opposite issue, because that tends to make people steelman whatever position they have. Like, in terms of proactive, just don't support them. It's as simple as that. Like, you're overthinking it if you think you need to do something crazy. Like, if you really want to and you get enough people to do it, you can go to Warhammer World and pick it. That won't really do much. That'll annoy the shit out of them. That might do something. But grand scheme, you're overthinking it. It's simple. Don't buy their shit. Encourage other people not to buy their shit. Done. You've done more than what is necessary for proactivity. 3D print, my friends. That is more than enough proactive. All right, gonna pull in next caller and maybe the last one. Depends on how long the conversation goes. Good bussy. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
It's going good.
Hey, how about we go bowling, brother?
Oh yeah, Nico. Hi, let's go bowling. It's amazing that meme is still not dead.
Oh, dude, that's the only good part about that depression slug that was GTA 4.
I really like GTA 4. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not saying the story isn't good. It's just not like it used to be. It was like go from this fluffy, semi-serious tone of San Andreas to everything sucks, everything's brown, there's no color in the world, and you're just slogging through to then GTA 5 for the last 16 years. Oh god, it's been 16 years.
Don't remind me. I feel old enough. All right. So, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts?
40K is getting interesting. I mean, female custodies, like, look, don't gaslight your people. If you want to make the change, like, Belisarius Call, just like with the Primaris, pulled this out of his ass so he could make female custodies. Put it in that way. People are going to be upset, but don't tell us, oh, since the first 10,000, there have always been female custodies. I'm like, really? Then how come we didn't get giant, humongous Terminator mummies before now?
Yeah, the always woke line doesn't track because a lot of these woke pushes that they've had lately that they've been gaslighting us into believing. If it was always woke, why? Yeah, exactly. Why weren't they there to begin with?
Is it true that Warhammer actually put out that everything is canon bit?
No, well, I don't think so anyway. But
Oh.
the meme I've seen pushed around, no, that's just someone who took like screenshotted like one of their tweets, blackened out what they actually said, and put that in there. It's a meme to make fun of the gaslighting they did with the whole. Well, they've always been there.
I was going to say, if that is a true tweet, I mean, well, Templars versus furries. I'm like, all right, I could get behind this. Give us a combat patrol, give us a kill team of Templars versus furries.
Chris in the chat, there is no war in Warhammer. And that seems to be their goal. They want it to be about romance, if you listen to Serb.
There is no war on Armageddon. Wait, what?
Just wait. In a couple of years, the books are just going to be like, hey, like this character's boning this character, and one's non-binary or some stupid shit. Based on what they want to happen.
We did have a 40K dating sim that got shut down by GW, just saying. Is everything going to become, Nick, do you believe that love can form on a battlefield? No, not when you wet yourself and watch anime.
Oh, fuck.
This entire situation reminds me of the greatest quote from our most favorite trader librarian. An open mind is like a fortress with its gates unbarred and unguarded.
Oh, yeah. That quote is proving to be so freaking prophetic, though. Like, when was that written? Like, decades and decades ago. Unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, dude, that's a Dawn of War quote,
Yeah. Oh, crap. I feel old.
Oh, dude, that voice of, what is it, Tiberius? I can't remember the name of that librarian, but it's just like, oh, that voice makes me think things I shouldn't think.
Got it, Chibby.
Sorry.
Dawn of War was 2003. Oh. That was over 20 years ago.
Dude, Dawn of War. See, that's the thing. With the hobby, when I was younger, my parents would get like the codexes and the novels and stuff like that, but wouldn't get the models because even back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, the models kind of prohibitively expensive. Granted, you got a combat team of 10 Marines for $35.
Oh, they're fucking expensive now.
God, I feel old. Yeah, but you buy a box of 10 Marines, you get what? $60 for 10 Marines?
Unless I think it's more than that now. Hold on. Let's go to Games Workshop's website, which I really fucking hate now. Space Marines.
Would have kept the old Forgeful site.
That's Call Patrol. Yeah. Oh, just show me basic Marines, please.
Oh, Primaris, because you can't buy basic Marines anymore.
Not including sales tax, it is $60.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But how I really got into the hobby was Dawn of War. Winter Assault, all that whatnot. And then when I started making money, I can afford the shit on my own. But it's just like corporate greed has gone so far through the roof. It's not even funny with GW. It's just like, oh, well, we need to do this. So we're going to blame Amazon. I'm like, no, this is something you've planned years in advance. Those codexes were written at best last year, maybe the year before. You were planning this and you're blaming it on Amazon. Granted, Amazon does insert really stupid shit and stuff. But, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And, it's like, look, don't gaslight us. You'll get less backlash if you just say, oh, well, like I said, Bersarius Crawl pulled this out of his ass. Now there could be female custodians. You're going to get a ton of backlash, but not as bad as you lying to your customer base.
But to be honest, granted, lying to the customer base definitely should get more hate, but in my opinion, not much more than if they just pull the call shit again. The fact that they did effectively get away with it for Primaris. Like, so many people were like, yeah, that makes sense. The fuck? Like, this Gary Stu, Mechanicus dude, comes in and does better than the fucking Emperor, and y'all would chill with it? Sorry, I still hate, half the community for that fucking shit from Primaris.
I still think the Primaris are Thunder Warriors.
I think you're giving them too much credit to think about it that much.
No, I am giving them too much credit to think about it, but my own headcanon to make sense of it, these quote-unquote Space Marines, again, Flash gets proving prophetic about that. In my own head, I'm like, oh, well, he just made Thunder Warrior. And because I think when the Emperor made the Thunder Warrior, it's like, all right, these guys are going psycho because I gave them too much shit. Let's downgrade them a little bit. But still, you got the Space Marine. So they're more stable with less of the quote-unquote cool shit. But they're stable, until you get the traders that just lose their damn mind. Or you insert, a 3-inch spike into the medulla oblongata.
Again, I think
Weird how that, would make people angry.
Crazy. Elite says, the reason Primaris got a pass is because most players play Space Marines, so they got new models. You're not entirely wrong.
Yeah. I mean, they could have handled that better.
Could've. They should have.
Again, if they thought about it, but they looked at, oh, well, we can sell box sets and books and shit like that instead of just coming out. It's like, hey, guys, we're switching to true scale Marines. We're going to update the model and their armor a little bit and all that whatnot. We're going to upgrade their kit. We're going to have a nice lore, but now it's, Space Marine. Like, dude, just tell us you wanted true scale Marines.
That would have gone over so much better if they literally just said, it's a new mark of armor, and they're just true scale. That's it. But they wanted to justify people completely, because if they had done that, though, from a financial standpoint, that wouldn't have done well, because all the people who just collected massive Space Marine armors before that would have just been like, oh, okay, they're just upgraded, like in size, they're true scale now, okay, I'm just going to stick with mine then. Like, they needed to incentivize the high sales of Primaris, so they had to give them new stats, and they had to justify, hey, why do these guys have more stats than these guys? Because they're in the whole new unit.
I'm not going to buy Primaris Marines, because they basically wrote my army out. Because I have an Imperial Fist army. I have an entire chapter, or company of Imperial Fists. Like, I have assault squads and all that whatnot. I have 100 Marines of Imperial Fists. And, you can't field them anymore because they're not Primaris. I'm like, because the Imperial Fist would line the Primaris up against the wall and put a bolt round in the back of their skull. You're talking about, that's the thing. All these chapters just accepted these Marines with no blowback. The only blowback I ever saw was a fantastic game called Battlebound or something like that. I can't remember what it is. It's one of the turn-based strategy games that came out a little while ago, where it's after the devastation of Ball with the Tyranids. It's the old trying to
Oh, you're broken up a little bit.
Maris as you're trying to clear out the moons and all that whatnot. And there's a little blowback from the old Marines trying to see if these guys are actually true successors and going to be good blood agents. The only thing I ever saw in any of the lore, any blowback towards the Primaris.
Demiano says in the chat, weren't Black Templars originally against Primaris? Not originally. When Primaris first came out, they just blanketly said that, like, hey, here's a bunch of chapters that accepted it, and it was like almost all of them, including the Black Templars. The fan base called them out and said the Black Templars in particular would not accept this. This would be considered a horrific abomination to everything they believe, because some fucking Mechanicus just came in and did better than their god. Yeah, that they would see these guys as mutant disgraces and would destroy them. So originally they didn't do anything with that, but then it was a couple of years later, they finally they retconned that and were like, oh well, actually there was like a schism amongst the Templars, and they half of them, like, they went into a civil war effectively within the chapter to accept them, and the side that accepted them won conveniently, mainly because the side that wanted them.
All the leaders went through their Rubicon Primaris.
Yeah, all the side that wanted them and agreed to it was under the argument of, okay, well, we need more numbers. We can't really afford to be picky. Again, that doesn't fit with the Black Templars at all. I really hate it.
The
But
Templars needed numbers? You're talking about a chapter that's at Legion strength, if not more?
potentially. Only one individual knows the exact number of Black Templars, and that's the High Marshal.
And he's not telling.
He's not telling nobody. How many are in the chapter? 1,000. I walked in here and there was like 800 just in this ship, and there's 6 other ships in this particular fleet. There's multiple Black Templar fleets. Tell me the real number. There's 1,000.
Hey, let us. Have you seen our warp core? No. Well, you're about to. Yeet.
Have you ever wanted to see space up close? What?
Without a void suit?
Yeah.
It's the Templars accepting it, and then you got the Dark Angels. Like, oh yes, the most messianic of all the chapters and most secretive are just going to accept these guys without any repercussions. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, you guys, they don't think. You know, the last time they had a good lore master, may he rest in peace, I can't remember his name, but it was the guy who wrote all of the Forge World books. Like, he did the Siege of Vrax, he did the War for Badab and all that whatnot. I can't remember his name, and unfortunately we lost him a couple of years ago. But he was sort of the guy keeping shit in check. But again, he got cancer and passed away. And it's just like all things go overboard. They're not even making models anymore. They're computer drafting model and all that whatnot. Yes, Alan Bly. Like, he wrote basically everything for Forge World.
I didn't know he passed away. I don't recall hearing that, but I might have just missed it. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, he passed away due to cancer.
Rest in peace. Major rest in peace.
And yeah, he was the one keeping shit in line for a long time, because it's just, you know, you have this expansive thing, and it's like, when you're writing a science fiction universe, or any universe at all, you have your stone pillars. Like, all right, the Horus Heresy, this, and this. Leave everything between them fucking ambiguous. Oh, sorry, I swore on your stream.
Nah, you're
Leave
fine.
them ambiguous.
I've said worse on the stream already.
You know, because you'll get more engagement, more videos, more people covering. It's like, oh, well, what does this mean? Oh, what does this mean? It's like, you know, we can now point to Gilliman as the reason we have the Terran. Because they just don't leave shit ambiguous anymore. They try to explain everything away. Like the Horus Heresy, we knew stuff happened during the Horus Heresy, but we didn't know how it did. They had so many writers, we had inconsistent Primarchs. One book will have, Peter Turbo as a complete badass, cold-hearted SOB, and the other, he's going, but I want to kill the Imperial Fist. Like,
Don't even get me started on Proto Robo. Listen, man, I like to keep going with you, but I got other people on the call, and I also do want to wrap up the stream.
No,
soon,
I understand. I will talk to you later. I'll see you at the other Discord sometime.
Likewise. I appreciate it, man. Sorry I had to cut you off.
Wait. No, it is. Wait.
Wait. Alright, I'm going to pull on one more caller, and I am going to put a time limit on this one. Adam Wolford, thank you so much for the $5. I greatly appreciate the generosity. Thank you. Black Templars, there are 1,000 Battle Brothers. Or do you want to see this system star up close? GW hasn't adopted the changing times 3D printers. It's true. And honestly, if there was any argument before all this that they were gonna, fall regardless of woke stuff, it's definitely the fact that they have done nothing to just the only reason they've been doing so well is because of COVID and people still being ignorant to 3D printing. This has made a lot of people aware of alternatives that beat them in quality and price, pretty much universally. So that was gonna kill them in time regardless. They were already on it. The one thing that was definitely going to keep them above water for a long time is fan loyalty, and they have done everything they can to squander that. It has been impressive. Lily says, did you know the Black Templar High Marshal was actually female? Oh, fuck off. Alright, I'm going to pull in Osmium, and then I'm going to wrap up the stream. Hello, Osmium, can you hear me?
Alright, hello. Am I on the air?
Yep, you're on there.
Hey, cool. I was going to try and keep it brief on my end. I know some of the other calls tended to linger on, but just kind of earlier in the stream, liked a lot of the talking points. I'm surprised that the whole listing that was actually pushed was not expanded upon. Granted, it was only done in the last 3 days. There's so many people that you could put on there.
Oh, yeah.
For example, there was that one super chat I saw that was mentioning the Mr. Bones. I've seen some of his stuff. I mean, haven't heard anything from him as far as like his takes. I think what he was trying to say when he meant critical of GW was more critical of rulemaking and stuff, just kind of based on codexes. Because I've seen some videos where he has criticized GW. Nothing in regards to some of the cultural and political shifts that have happened. And that's just something, I mean, again, time will only tell. I'm sure at some point the question might be penned up to him and he might be pressured or might just avoid it entirely and just say, nah, or just ignore the super chat because you can, of course, do that while you're streaming.
You can. It's not nice to do, but you can.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how many people you have. If it's 50 people and you're watching your live stream, it's kind of hard to say, oh, there's so much going on right now, even if you are streaming across multiple platforms.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, like I said before, I don't blame anyone for just staying out of it. Like, if, let's say, you were to get a donation during a stream and he read it off and someone was just saying, hey, what's your thoughts on the Custodians debacle? And if, like, let's say any content creator were to just go, listen, guys, thanks for the donation. I super appreciate it, but I'm not going to talk about it. I feel strongly enough to do so. I don't feel comfortable doing so. I don't want to get in the middle of it. I just want to have fun with the hobby on my end and try and enjoy myself. I don't think that those people deserve too much backlash from either end. Like some people, you could call them shills or whatever, but to be honest, I think the vast majority of people who will do that, regardless of size or anything, I think most of the time, it's done because they just don't want the stress. Like you don't want to get involved in this fight too in depth. Me, I'm not afraid to lay down the law. Like I've gotten into many arguments over the years. I know what it's like to acquiesce to the woke in small places and watch what happens when you do that. I've experienced it. I feel strongly enough. I'm going to comment. I will say this: it's better to just keep your mouth shut than to do it half-assed and address it, like Luton did, like Major Kill did, like Valric did, because that is pathetic. That is what deserves some flack for sure. Because if you're gonna cover it half-assed or you're gonna demean the situation, if you're gonna, at that point, you're satisfying nobody. Because the woke aren't gonna be happy with you because you're not being strongly in their favor enough, and the true fans of 40K, the real fans, are gonna be pissed with you because you're pussyfooting. You're commenting on it without actually commenting on it, and nobody respects that.
Yeah, no, it's essentially you're poking a bear in a den of bears. There's just you gotta, if you're gonna come out with it, or at least express your opinion in whether it's subscribing or identifying to one side or the other, it's better to come out with a more concise opinion than just kind of just throwing it off to the side and being like, oh yeah, screw this one side or screw this faction, or whatever. Even if it's in a trolling manner. Like I get it, some of them try to skeet off to the side a little bit or use that as like part of their caricature or the way they portray their persona online, but just it's one of those things where you say the wrong thing, you could just get a firestorm coming one way or the other. Oh, what do you mean by that? Context.
Yeah.
And those are things that eventually it's just going to be something that I feel probably every 40K creator will probably have brought up to their attention, whether they like it or not. And again, like you said, there are those that choose to ignore it. I think that's completely respectable if just sticking to the IP, sticking to what they enjoy, the hobby, and then, avoiding the majority of what is essentially this dumpster fire in regards to what's happening. I think I was going to say another thing I mentioned. I know that there was earlier conversations were mentioning gatekeeping. Kind of some of the takes I did recall were going a little bit too hard as far as like the gatekeeping aspect. My opinion, I think, yes, gatekeeping is good, but I think another element is you should be more filtering than you should be gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is essentially creating a hard black wall, essentially.
I'm just going to tell you this right now. That's just splitting hairs. One person's, it's just like what Radhom did in his debate with Arch. He called it moderating, but he had the exact same definition for his moderation as Arch did for gatekeeping. The filtering, whatever terminology you want to use, it means the same thing. Like if you're gonna get super anal about terminology, just know 90% of people aren't. Like when I say gatekeeping, I mean the same as that. It's you're filtering, you're keeping people out who are troublemakers that are here to cause problems. They have no real interest in becoming fans. It all means the same thing at the end of the day. Like
yeah, and that's not where I'm like, what I'm trying to come from is not in the element of, somebody's maybe flirting with the IP, is maybe more of a geek as opposed to an in-depth nerd that's reading codexes and buying, mass amounts of merchandise. That's not what I was thinking of. My definition was more in the realm of like people that are obviously not fans, they're obviously not in support of the franchise, but yet they are integrating themselves into the IP, whether it's for their own personal gain or some type of, pseudo-cultural political belief that they wish to push or publish, and they just want to use the IP as that sort of a skin suit to get to that goal. That's what I was addressing. Not the person that, because like for me, for example, I've only gotten into the hobby in the last maybe 4 years. Coincidentally caught on when COVID was in fact, just sitting there and listening to all these various channels talk about lore, and that was kind of my introduction. I'm not as knowledgeable. I've gone to places where I've gone to game stores or model stores, and there's been conversations from guys that are, in my opinion, I thought were lore masters because I was completely out of my depth there. It was like, oh well, the the Adeptus Ridiculous podcast I listened to didn't prepare me for this kind of a thing, and I could say some generalized statements, but yeah, as far as the realm of the filtering or the gatekeeping, to be blunt, it was more in retrospect to people who are absolutely, saying that, they're through their actions and through their behavior are not fans. They're not in support of the IP. They don't wish to push for its success. They don't wish to support it. And they're pretty much just wearing a charlatan's mask and trying to insert snake oil into poisoning an IP, whether it's for their own gain or just, I want to wreck the chuds, take them to Pound Town or something of that nature. But that was pretty much what I was going to mention about that.
Right, that's fair.
But yeah, otherwise than that, I'm sure you've probably already announced it, but was there anything content that you have upcoming that maybe I could look forward to or something?
Well, I'm looking in the short term. Right now I'm working on some videos with. So I've been watching the Fallout TV show with a couple of friends. So this channel is 40K focused, but that's just something fun I decided to do on the side. I put up a random community poll, see if anyone was interested. Seemed like a fair number of people were interested in my take on it, so decided to do some EFAP style reactions to the Fallout show. That's coming out. Long term, I do lore videos, but I take a long time on each one because I fit it in between all the other things I'm doing. I'm working on a tabletop war game right now, so that's also taking up a lot of my free time. Generally speaking,
the side hustles could be worse. You could be doing you could be like Arch and be playing a My Little Pony modded version of Hearts of Iron 4 as like a bit of a shit post, but reviewing Fallout I think is a pretty good way to go for, especially since it is a hot show and it is something that I think hey, people want to hear your opinion. I'm sure they'll be interested to listen to hear you out.
I mean, yeah, I've played every Fallout game. I played Fallout 1, 2, Tactics. Well, there was one I found out about while we were recording because my buddy who was on before you, the previous caller, his name's Caboose. He's been one of the guys I've been watching the show with. He pointed out a game I didn't know existed. It was apparently a PS1 or PS2 exclusive game I never heard of, but outside of that, I've played every Fallout game. I love the series. I know quite a bit about it. I'm a huge fan of the originals. My favorite in the whole series is Fallout 2, but out of the first person ones, it's New Vegas. I have a lot to say. I won't spoil those videos when they're up, but yeah, there's be ready to turn down your headphones at times.
Oh jeez. If it's snippets from the show and it's just like recording off the hip from a cell phone, I'll make sure that my headphones are down, at about 50% or something of that nature.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. There's a little bit of yelling. But yeah, look forward to those. And again, working on lore videos. I'm trying to do more painting streams as well. I'm about to start a new day job. Fun fact, YouTube is not my only job. That's another reason I feel safe voicing my opinions and stuff, and that's why I can't necessarily blame all the content creators who decide to be quiet, especially if this is like their main career. With some of them,
just be careful about that kind of stuff because you know how some of these people IRL hear, this guy's got a career, he's got a job.
I'm not worried about it.
How can I gay ops this kind of stuff?
I'm not worried about it.
Right, but just I've seen enough, and you've seen enough of the internet to see that.
Oh yeah, I'm aware.
I'm what some of these people.
I'm prepared for that at all times. I'm not afraid. There's good luck getting me fired from my job. Let me put it to you like that. Good luck.
They're like, hey, bud, we got this call from a bunch of people. They're complaining, saying you're like a Nazi or something like that. Oh yeah, that's just the tranny that's bitching again. They've been harassing me online. It is what it is.
Oh yeah. My boss would be like, why am I getting these dumbass calls? I don't know.
Yeah.
YouTube videos?
Coffee talk in the break room will just be, is it another one? Yep. And you're just like making a tally mark on a chalkboard.
He'll just block them and be like, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care. It's not that type of job.
If you get 20 in a row, you get a free sandwich.
Yeah, so I ain't worried about it. But thank you, though. Also, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. It's been a nice conversation. Thank you.
Of course, it was my pleasure.
Have a good day or night.
You too.
All right, that was our last caller. I am starting to lose my voice, and I got my family upstairs that no doubt would want to get dinner. So I'm gonna go make myself and my family some dinner. I'm gonna hang out with my nephew. He's a little baby, so good time to get in with him. Oh boy, today's been a fun day, but I want to thank all of y'all for coming on, being fantastic, being awesome. I appreciate it. You guys are fantastic. And make sure to leave a like before you head out. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel and you want to hear more of my stuff. And yeah, keep up the gatekeeping. Keep up the good fight. And enjoy 40K how it's meant to be enjoyed. As a grimdark sci-fi setting where things aren't all sunshine and rainbows and the focus isn't on, romance and relationships. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye-bye.